New, pussycat? Whoa, 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 what's new, pussycat? Tom Jones, eat your heart out. Here I am, Daryl Kirky. Daryl Kirky Show, entertainment with very powerful spiritual wisdoms and messages that will be expressed as I bring souls unto Christ with a touch of grace, amazing grace, and answer all the questions that people ask from my own experience beyond the textbook, beyond anything dealing with psychology, and how I have lived and helped myself to be where I am today, give or take pain and suffering. But there is a time to rejoice. And if anyone comes online at this time of the morning, being almost 4 a.m., and the date today is Tuesday, 11th of March, 2025. So I'll just sip a coffee and just wait for a few people to come online. And I'll tell you what I've been up to. I had the most amazing musical experience today. Well, I spent about 4 hours at a music shop. I'm trading in Miami because in my college days, I like the lighter touch and everything, but it's secondhand piano, and it's good, but it's not delivering the depth of my heart with the compositions. Hi, welcome, one person online. I find that now that I'm at this age, I'm going a lot deeper, because I'm a lot wiser. And I found a piano today, which they will trade in for this one, hopefully, depending on the pricing. It's discounted amazingly. And yet this one I'm going to get is actually going to go up $4,000 at the end of the month. So it's a super discount. I hope I get it. It's called a Kawai Piano 600. It's equivalent to an 800, just different cabinet. But the 800 is thousands of dollars more expensive. It's got a bigger music, what do you call it? Music stand and all this. It's just the what do you call it? Not just a fraction more better panel setting and so forth. It's just ridiculous to pay all those extra money just to get that. Oh, this one's actually 54-inch tall piano, and the Kawai 800, which is supposedly the cream of the crop, is actually 53. But a lot of people can't get hold of a Kawai 600, and it's a lot cheaper. And there's one in stock. I've got to get up. The sun comes up and go and get it. Because it is the piano that's going to deliver. And it's brand new. So that's what I want. So I pay an extra, it'll cost more, but it's still discounted by $4,000 at the moment. So it's just worth getting something new. It's like a car, isn't it? I've never had a new car. I've always had second-hand cars, or you call used cars. I will have to pay it off, but I've got 6 months to do it. But this guy knows me, and he's going to let me pay it off without interest. That's amazing, because anywhere else, you've got to sign up to pay interest, which ends up almost double. Yeah. So I've got to get this piano, and I've got videos out there where I perform. My phone volume was turned up, and it got a bit of distorted, but still, it's a great piano. I think for recording as well. All right, and it's got the right tune. Like the older pianos go out of tune a bit. I've noticed that, so I don't want that. I composed about 20 songs today. I got a little bit on video. But anyway, that's just a little bit of the update musically, because I have a strong feeling I'm going to go deeper into it, but I need a right sort of piano, and I found it today. It's always been a toss up between Yamaha and Kawai, but I've always been a Yamaha man. But Kawai, it's got that deepness and richness. It's got a touch that I like, but then Yamaha will say, oh, yeah, that Kawai's touch is a bit, what do you call it? It's woody. It's more somehow produced. Well, they try to put put a spin on it and say it's a more of a fake type of touch. No, they've got all the components in it. They've improved, and I actually think it's better than Yamaha personally. But yeah, it just is for me, for composing. Yeah. So I'm going into today, actually, when the sun comes up. 3 people online, welcome. There was 5. Yeah. Just ate not long ago. I hadn't eaten all day. I was just so excited of playing this piano for 4 hours. This other music shop bit stuck up, got kicked out. I just couldn't get off the piano, mate. And they wanted thousands of dollars more for it. They're very, very tight ass. It's a family-owned business that, what do you call it? They're like Pharisees. Talk about Pharisees, bloody Pharisee Jews. But the place I'm going to today does all these discounts and things. It's not stuck up. So anyway, in relation to spirituality, there are people that are religious or spiritual that are stuck up. Why is this so? Why did Jesus, when he spoke to the Essenes, and his brother James was a witness, why did he say the Buddhists and the Hindus were closer to the truth? I thought Muslims were closer to the truth. I thought, well, because of the aggression and killing in the name of God and prophets or popes, this aggression thing is spiritual ego. It's okay to express power my soul today, and this Pharisee sort of salesman who owns the place, it was offending him because it was so strong and aggressive. But that's my music. It's like Beethoven's 5th symphony. So, but he's a sort of a girly boy one. He likes all the girly boy type of. But I played pretty heavy today, and this piano could take it. It's a beast. It's got German piano components in it, Japanese and German. So I don't know why Yamaha would say it's got fake components in it. Bullshit. Or fake something. No, they're jealous. And because Yamaha makes a lot of motorbikes and other products, Kawai specializes in pianos, and they've come so far. So I'm going for Kawai now. There's another one called, I think it's called the G30 grand piano. It's $35,000. That is good. There's one in the church, the LDS Mormon church. That's beautiful. But I actually like this one better for some reason. Yeah. But anyway. If you want to know the cost of the Kawai 600, in the stuck-up music shop I went to today, they're going up to $19,000, but they're actually selling for about 14,500. That's pretty good, but I can get it for $12,500 at the other shop. See the big difference? $2,000 off the price. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I'm not. I've already got this piano, and that came through a friend, a help. I just happened to be at the music shop that day when he he called me, and he gave a donation of $100 to go and be fun to help my daughter. That money doesn't get touched. That's for my daughter, and he helped me with this piano. But if I had told him I want to go for this one, which is an extra 4,000, and it's new, I mean, it's stupid to go and buy secondhand when you can get a new one for 4,000 and the right sort of model. He might not have helped me, and I would have been stressed about how I'm going to pay it. But it's going to be payments until it's paid. No interest. I'm getting it. I trade this in. But the Yamaha UX3, which I have, is a great piano, but it's old. It's the 80s. And I noticed the bass goes out and it gets a bit wonky and all this sort of thing. It's just well used. It was the best piano in the 80s, but I don't want anything secondhand. I'm fed up with secondhand. What do you call it? Used, you know? You know? I don't even want a secondhand wife. Brand new. What's the old saying? New broom sweep well. No. Look, love is love, but as an inspired composer, I like to touch upon the freshness of nature, and I like to be around people that inspire me and uplift me. It's just what I like. It's not being selfish. And there are just people that are bright, and then there's people that are very dark, and you pick your level. That's your bullshit. But this piano's right in the middle. It just represents me for who I am. It's got very powerful, punchy bass, and it's got the brightness as well. So I like a combination of the two. It's got the deepness, yeah. And Yamaha's more sort of shallow, but it's lighter touch. So I'm going for the more heavier touch, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony touch. I'm ready for it. I wasn't ready when I was bloody college. I was a bit of a girly boy myself, just like that guy in the shop today. I was looking at myself in the friggin' mirror. I can't believe how we change. All the war and terror I've been through, I can't go back to that. Those days, I was virtuous, I was a virgin and all that. I got raped when I was 17 by a bloody guy and all shit. When I was working on the railroad up in the desert, some Middle Eastern. I mean, I was such a girly boy. Do I look like a girly boy now? No friggin' way, mate. But lovely, nice people, but they can turn on you. Because I played heavy today at the piano, German components and string or whatever, Kawai, Yamaha, Japanese mixed. He got upset, man. He just wanted all the airy-fairy stuff. See, there's airy-fairy people. Comparing like the Latter-day Saint Mormon Tabernacle Choir, it's beautiful, it's distilled, it's reverent, it's holy, it's sacred, but it's also constipated. But it's the most beautiful choir in the world, right? Some people would say that was it. That's the bee's knees of it all. But it's for the goody-goodies. It's for the squeaky clean. It's for the, you could say pure in heart, but there are people that are fitting, hissing, and spitting because they've got ancestral curses and all sorts of shit going on, and they get attacked and they need to be rebuked, but not so much with Bible thumping or bloody sermon or anything, just the music. And that's why I will attach, as I keep saying I'm going to do, the Angels song that shook the entire internet. It's Greek Orthodox born-again church. Can you imagine a born-again Greek Orthodox church? And the Mosaic Jews, they're also born again, you see? And there's also born-again Catholics. It's called Christos in the Philippines. So I'm a born-again Christian with a potential and possibility of becoming a Latter-day Saint, because I believe in the spirit and the spiritual intelligence, and they believe that. They believe in a pre-existence, that we live before this life. The Essenes teach all of this, though what they teach is that we don't stay in heaven, we come back as the same person, come back and live life all over again. You got it forever. It's time travel. That's the reward in heaven, right? So the Bible doesn't say much about it, but the lost books talk about this sort of stuff. So Buddhists and Hindus believe in all this stuff, except they
gone a bit wacky because I'll come back as a disabled cockroach if you kill cockroaches or animals. Well, it's got nothing to do with that. You're not coming back as an animal. You come back as yourself. You're being sent back, or you're choosing to come back. It could be another planet. Could be another. Look, heaven is forever. Forever is now. It's happening right now. So, and the past, the present, future is happening at the same time. And that means that we were there at the cross. We were already there in the spirit. And those who would today crucify Jesus, are there here as well. Right? So there's this amazing rejoicing going on in the spirit. And if you don't tap into it, you'll never know. You'll just think that you're you're created by dust and there's a soul in you, and you sleep when you die and wait for the resurrection. But the thief, he was promised paradise that very day. So you're not sleeping. You're only the beast in you asleep. That part of you that's got no soul. So we are living spiritual essence, DNA, direct image made in God's image. And when I played this piano today, the Kawai 600, which is equivalent to the 800, just different cabinet and big price difference, but anyway. And there's a K500, and that's brilliant piano, but it's a bit shorter string, a couple of differences, but a bit cheaper. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going for the vintage, for the cream of the crop. But still, if you can't get the cream of the crop, the K500 is just almost as good. Yeah. Okay, so we're all searching to resonate with that frequency of harmony and love and beauty, and and music helps to bring me there. It's kind of my journey. Anyway, 7 people online. Oh, Crystal's online. Welcome. You did really good playing the piano. Oh, you might have saw a bit of it. I should have turned the volume down on the phone because it was a bit of distortion. But yeah, but I had to do it quickly because I got kicked out of the music shop, Crystal. If you saw one of the videos, yeah, I don't want you to play no more. You'll pay for the tuning of the piano if you keep bashing it like that. I was playing heavy, mate. I mean, like Beethoven's and everything. I was playing that type of thing. I was composing, and this piano could take it. It's the first piano I've played, and I like it better than a grand piano. It is a grand upright. It's not, it fits in the house and everything, and it's brand friggin' new. So stuff bloody secondhand used pianos. Just always, it's okay. I go to op shops and I get clothes and things and whatever. My mum went and brought a big doll's house for my brother's kids, and his bitchy bloody wife shoved it back in her face and said, I don't want that secondhand. Shit. It wasn't. It was a big doll's house. It was cheap. Now, I got nothing against used or half price, whatever. That's good. But when it comes to pianos, I want a new one. I don't want anything secondhand. And one day I'll get a nice car. I've never had a decent car. It's always been secondhand, and they, blow up and cook and blow a head gasket, and one caught on fire going to church once. First time I was going to the LDS church after all them years, a bloody car blew up. I was stuck for 4 hours without water, and people stopping giving me water. It was a bloody 44 degrees heat. And then when I went back to the church recently, I lost that money. I got that scam thing 3 times, 2 fights at the bus stop. And I mean, why is all this shit happening? Because I go back to a church that's very kind of religious. Not that I am, and I talked to my bishop and he said, Daryl, you've got a gift and you're going to lead people to become born again, Latter-day Saint Mormons. I think this is my calling. The church is changing. Why wasn't it like that in the first place? Because they wouldn't get any money out of it. Because Apostle Paul, who turned everything upside down, imposter or not, being fundamentally Pharisee and stuck up and everything, and he became this grace Christian leader, of best in history, worst sinner became the greatest Christian, said we don't need to pay tithing. The woman who paid the least was the most blessed. So if Apostle Paul had not been removed, they wouldn't pay tithes, and there would not be these multi-million-dollar temples dotting the earth so you and your husband can go and get sealed up for time and all eternity. Because when Jesus came, he didn't preach any of that. He was just telling people to get saved, get their ass saved, and no marriages before and after resurrection. So that's salvation by grace. But a lot of people are going to regret and say, well, I could have taken my wife to those temples. But Jesus turned his back on the temple in Israel, but he didn't turn his back on the temples in the South Americas, which were, because the Book of Mormon, which is representing Isaiah 29 prophecy, spoke about a people, a lost sheep, John 10:16, it's lost sheep, would present this second witness gospel. Isaiah 29 is the book, and Ezekiel 37:15-19 talks about the stick of Judah, the Bible, and the stick of Joseph, which is the lost tribe. And it's not another gospel. And one prepares you for eternal marriage, and the other one, to death do we depart. So you're still saved, you go to heaven, but you're single. So if there's a marriage opportunity, right, you can argue whatever you want. You can talk yourself out if you wish, but I think that's heaven. And then you come back and you meet that, if you married up and sealed to that person, you come back because you got forever and you meet that person again. A marriage that's sealed up is forever. So you're going to keep meeting that person over and over and over. It's already happened. It's not like it's going to happen. It's happening even now as we speak. Everything's stretched through space and time. And you come back and marry your sweetheart over and over and over. So if you find her on this earth, you're more likely to, it's going to happen again. You come back as little kids and you have that deja vu, like, I know you from another life, but you're not coming back as a farm animal cockroach. That sort of nonsense. But the Hindus do believe in all this incarnation, and Jesus incarnated, they say. Or Brahman told me, this Brahmin guy, Jesus, the blue god, Krishna, representing Christ, and even Buddha may have got something to do with it. And even when Angel Gabriel gave the Muslims their faith, all these people are going to some form of paradise, even if they're with Christ or not. You see how much God loves us? So you got to be pretty much a psychopath and want to kill your own mother or something. I mean, when you realize that hell was created mainly for his devil and his demons, for his demons, yeah. You got to deny the Holy Spirit to get to that type of hell, right? In the other video, I said, I said heaven was created for the devil and his demons. I made a mistake. I meant hell was created for the devil and his demons. So we're not going there, but it doesn't mean you won't suffer in the spirit prison until you get there. And it's pretty frightening. And the most frightening are people that are so lost they don't even know they died, and they're scary. It's ghosts, like a ghostly thing. You're the ghost. Remember that movie Others with Nicole Kidman? And she was always looking out the window and all these people coming to the house and everything. And she said, oh, why are these people pestering us? Why are they disturbing us, And then she used to close all the curtains and everything. And she had a daughter and everything, right? And in the end, it was really spooky. It turned out she was the dead one. And the daughter, and she thought that there was people coming to the house and expecting it and looking through it, to buy this old haunted mansion thing, were the dead people, and she was the dead one. She didn't even know she'd died. And why was she with her daughter? I mean, what happened? The Nazis were going to kill everybody back in that day, and she was hiding in the closet, and she had to smother her baby to death, so not to make a noise because it was crying. She didn't mean to kill the baby, but it choked, and the Nazis would have shot them both dead. They were looking to kill anyone. It was just, so she went to hell, but not literally, not forever. She went to hell because she killed her child by accident, by default, to save her life anyway. So she went and lived on after that, but she had indirectly kind of murdered or killed a child just because the Nazis were going to come in and just shoot them all dead. So she had to live with that guilt all her life. And that guilt, which is self-inflicted in a lot of ways, sent her to hell. But she'll come out of it. See, we are going to where we create. So you got to be really, really careful. If you're thinking all that hellish thoughts and stuff, you probably are going to that place. It's not that God wants you to go there, but you'll come out of it. But you are literally setting yourself up for where you're going to end up for a temporary amount of time. It could be up to 1,000 years. It depends on your anger and how much you hate people, you're bitter towards the Nazis, or, all this stuff is called negative karma, and it drags you down. Even if you're innocent. You see, that's why we're supposed to forgive our enemies. And Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7. Who's going to piss you off 490 times a day? That's 70 times 7. So we really got to get rid of this shit. And if you look at the wall and you see a piece of dirt on that wall, what are you seeing? You're seeing your own shit. It's disturbing you. Clean the bloody house up then if it disturbs you. Everything's a reflection of what's within. Some people got to have a holy temple to actually feel holy. They can't feel holy at all. Some people go and baptize their bloody family in the bloody bathtub. Others will say, oh no, friggin' way, it's got to be in a river where it's flowing, or in a baptismal font in the church, How do we get our homes to be holy? See, I love the thing, again, the Hindus and the Buddhists, they burn incense and they have these little rituals, and you go into their homes and you can feel this harmonic peace resonating, you see? Where's my friggin' incense? I love incense. A lot of people hate it. I mean, the way people can make their homes into something like a sanctuary, see? So everything is within. So if you see something out there, the truth is not out there, it's within us. The kingdom of God is in us. The word is written upon our heart, beyond the Bible, beyond every book. It's our journey, our testimony, living scripture. It's even beyond narrative scripture, like, what's so great about the Old Testament when it's all that bloodthirsty guts and things? Is that going to inspire you? I mean, it's good to know it, read it, understand the history, but for goodness sake, I just don't believe God inspired a lot of that shit. That's not going to help you. It's just going to make you fear hell and you're going to burn and all this nonsense. It's just, people take it literally and they're just aggressive. And okay, I can understand athletics. They're aggressive. They've got it's sporty. I'm a musician. I can be very Beethoven aggressive. When I was younger, it was always Mozart and, things like that. Liszt is beautiful. He was the master of grand piano, the first one in the 19th century, 18th century. I was doing it all today, and this guy was really getting upset. He was on that one level of real airy-fairy type of person, and his business was passed down to him from his parents. I knew his parents. They were real conservative. They run the music shop since 1920 something. That's how old it is. Man, they got like a $300,000 to $300,000 Steinway piano in their shop. I used to sell Steinways and get $10,000 for every piano I sold. That's how much money you'd make selling grand pianos. But it's pretty hard now because people are going for digital because they don't go out of friggin' tune. But anyway, I walked in there like a bat out of hell, and it's like, who's this guy come from the bloody First, Second World War? That's what I love about the poet Frost. I think his name's Frost. He wrote a lot of poetry about war, all the intimacy, the dying, the suffering, the love letters. The soldiers were missing their wives back home or girlfriend. They didn't make it back. And talk about that, this hero, he was like captain, colonel, whatever. On the last day of the war, he went out into battle. And they said, the general said, don't go out to battle, it's Christmas, go home. The war is over. It's still, how it continues on a little bit. He said, oh no, I won every battle. I shot every Japanese plane down and everything. And he had to be a hero, and he had his wife, family, and everything back home. And he got killed that day, on the last day of the friggin' war. because he was a friggin' hero. See, talk about spiritual ego or any type of ego. Uh, so he's got a wife and family, and he was risking his life right up until the very end. It took it, you see. So we don't be careful. You can shorten your life by stupidity. If you've got a wife and family, they come first. God first, wife and family second. Even before church, anything. And you take care of them even before tithing. Oh no, just give it to the church and you'll get blessed. Bullshit. 50% do not. It's just statistics. Excuse my grammar tonight. Got a bit of speech impediment. So don't put your trust in man, flesh, any pastor, bishop, pope, leader. You talk to your wife or talk to your husband. You should be best friends, and you should be able to solve problems, spiritually even, together, and pray together, do everything together. See, your whole divinity is within, and if you share that with a partner, you got your church where two or more gather. So church is just an option. You go and enjoy, mingle with the people, but your home and your temple is everything. I'm not talking about a temple where you don't fart. So don't get into all that bloody Pharisee shit with me, because I can't stand it. Of course you fart. I knew farters in the temple and everything. I mean, stunk the place out. Who cares? Muslims sit on the bloody floor and eat dates, and when they get married, there's no woman there. It's all men, and they marry the man before he's even with the woman. It's just weird. All guys. Then they go and have a big feast and pay the dowry, which is a dowry or doughy or something, which means they pay the father, I don't know, thousands of dollars, basically to buy the daughter, and have a big feast. All little traditions and rituals and things. Crystal says, can you elaborate, please, Eric? Oh, she's talking to Eric. What do you mean by the Thug Nation? What's this? Eric says Thug Nation. Robert Frost. Yeah, that's it. I have heard of that poet, Robert Frost. What Crystal saying, why would we even have a monarch sort of speaking? And she says, so if the kingdom is really within us, then why did individuals, I guess, pretend it was external? Exactly. For war and bloodshed, world domination, manipulation and control, the Essenes were slaughtered and burned at the stake. So was the Gnostics, all the reformers, because the Catholic Church wanted control. And they took all that stuff out about within so they would have an exterior empire. And people got sucked into it because they can't stand the shit in their own house. They got to go into the bloody Catholic Church and feel something holy, which to me, I don't see it. I go to the Latter-day Saint Church and I can see all this white light. And most people, I mean, some people don't. I just love the temple. But then, as I said, some don't. Very few. It's all white. Everything's white. The scriptures are white. Everything's covered in white. It's just white, like walking into yeah, it's just like, it's so white. I find the Catholic Church so black. We're black. It's like a bloody funeral. But some people like that. I like the white. One of my favourite colours. I love red. Crimson red. Yeah, all exterior is the negative polarity to control, manipulate the world. We just don't need it. It's just an option, pop in, pop out. You got to go home and you got to make your home a temple. And then when I go to these other countries, guess what? I meet these people, Hindus and Buddhists, and anyone that's into these little rituals and traditions. They're just beautiful. I wake up and I was staying at a hostel, and outside they've got a few little deities, monkey gods, all sort of things. But look, animals are beautiful. They've got souls, all right? And they're sort of giving greetings to the animal spirits and the bloody nature and the trees, the forest, because I was overlooking a forest, and where was this? This was in Bali, I think. And there's India as well. And this Hindu girl, was going around lighting up the candles and burning the incense, and I walked out to have my coffee and that. I just felt a spirit. I felt a presence. It was like the place was blessed. But some Christians would come along and say, oh, pagan, oh, get rid of that shit. See the aggression of these people that claim to know Jesus. And Jesus actually gave support to the principles and the inner virtues and the fruits of the spirit that the Buddhists and the Hindus were practicing, despite their deities and things. But a lot of it's, to me, it's sort of a shamanism, because I love monkeys too, and I love elephants and everything. One of my mates is so, what do you call it, into all that sort of thing, that he won't even ride an elephant. He reckons that's cruel. I don't know about that. But some people would kill an elephant just to get the husk. What do you call them? Poachers. Is it poachers? They go out and kill animals. A big fine for that. Get locked up for 10, 20 years. But anyway, look, they just greet the animal world, the spirit. And some probably go further and want to worship a monkey or something. But look, I like it because it enriches your own soul to identify with other life forms. It's just a reflection of what's within you. It doesn't mean there's really a monkey god. It's just an animal spirit and resonating with the life force, the oneness of it all, the conscious oneness, not this separation consciousness and sin consciousness, because Jesus spoke against it. He was actually trying to teach the Essenes that, we don't need this type of aggression where, we're right, you're wrong. We separate ourselves from you, wipe the dust from our feet. You're not a born again Christian. You're not a proletarian. We're not in my camp. Piss off. We have nothing to do with you for the rest of your life. Such as Baptist and Church of Christ did that to me. Kicked me out of Bible study, everything. All the people that I made friends with for 3 years don't even speak to me. They're so brainwashed in their own way. And I never thought that was a cult, but now I realise the cult everywhere. Wherever there's that type of exterior dominating world, kind of like leading up to one world government thing, you don't get that with these people that love animal spirits and they love nature, even right down to a bloody witch doctor. I don't care. I just love it. I still choose Jesus Christ as my Lord and Saviour. Right? I don't know what happens to them hereafter, but I would imagine because they love nature, as long as they're not cannibals, I suppose. I mean, we're not talking, the witch doctors I know are not cannibals. They just do magi, which is magic, and healing and herbs, and some things got some drug in it, but it's better than anything we got here, man. And they help you, and they cleanse you. And it's just rituals. There's nothing wrong with it, but that doesn't mean you go and worship a statue or something that it's got no life force in it. I mean, what can I say? I mean, in the name of the Pope, you start worshipping their saints or praising their saints. What about the Reformer saints that were slaughtered and murdered by the Catholic Church? They're the real saints, but oh no, our saints are better. You're not worth licking the piss off the toilet floor of our saints. No. They are not. Whatever they were, I don't know. They've got all their extra saints, saint this, saint that. They canonize it. You know, canonize the saints, make statues and everything. Come on. I'd rather walk outside my hotel room or hostel and see a nice little monkey, not a monkey god to me, but a little monkey statue sitting there on a little bowl where they burn the incense and ritual so these nature spirits, which is all around you, that can touch your nature, and it just makes your day. That's why we love to go to these different cultures and countries. But there's a lot of truth in it too. It's spiritual. Okay, so everybody's got a bit of a whack job mentality of, they don't fully understand that Jesus actually taught this. And if they realized that Jesus was teaching this, they wouldn't be so anti-Christ. But at least they're spiritual, man. I'm going on a trip because I don't have much money, but I got accommodation all provided for me, and I'll be meeting some Hindus and Buddhists and Christians, everything. It's my little personal mission, and it'll probably do me good. But I'm doing it on such a tight budget because I got scammed, I just can't believe I'm still doing it. It's stressing me a little bit because medically and all that, you know, see, these other countries, if something goes wrong, you break your leg or something. Like, I'm talking about monkeys. This guy was a bikey guy. He goes to Bali, he gets away from all the shit here. And he got bitten by a monkey and he wasn't insured. He took him to the hospital. They just chopped his finger off, man. It's all infected, He wasn't insured. He got bitten by a monkey. Anyway, just stay clear. I mean, they're funny little buggers, aren't they? I love monkeys. Some of us do come from monkeys, I think. Well, that's another truth. There are probably other seeds of people that do come from that. I don't think I didn't. 4 different types of Homo sapiens, and they're older than bloody 6,000 years. All right, so most of us come from the atom that 6,000 years ago. So there are different species. They're all human, but they're the reptilian bloody hybrid ones are half human, and that started from the time of Enoch's time, right up into Noah's flood. But when God said, "I repent over made man," it wasn't even fully man. They were bloody freaks. All the fallen angels seed that come down and had sex with women and beasts. I suppose Noah and his 8 were the only ones that were sane, but it wasn't friggin' insane when he ended up when he sailed his ship or whatever, his bloody wooden boat, started to migrate all over again. It wasn't very sane when there was no one to sleep with. And something in the Bible gives references he slept with his own friggin' daughter to start the human race. Of course, there were people on Earth, giants and the Aboriginal down here and everything. They found a skull 40,000 years ago. It's 40,000, not 6,000. Gosh, how dumbass can you get? Of course there's people that's older than 6,000. But you and I probably not, all right? So when evolutionists say, you Christians are friggin' stupid, it's proven that that life or Earth is more than 6,000 years old. See, the Bible says 6,000. Well, that's our Adam. But the Adam before that, if you read Genesis, 2 gods, 2 Adams, 2 seeds, all that fallen angel went on for a million years. Or how many years? We don't know. But we don't talk about it because it's not relevant to us or salvation. But if you get an understanding that that all this mythology and creature feature and dragons and bloody horses with human heads and all that Greek thing, they told the story, all happened from the first Adam, right? And probably where Cain got his wife too, unless he married his sister. There were people here. It was only mainly the known world that got wiped out. But people here, there were giants right up into bloody King David. Well, actually, there's still giants today because my mate took photographs of a 50-foot Yeti, which is they call him the abominable snowman, but there's more than one. 50 foot up in the Himalayan mountains, dead, frozen in ice. I mean, how naive can you get? And all these UFOs and everything, they're all bloody Satan's babies. He created that. Antimatter and all that. But, they can't interfere as much as they like to because God's got laws. He can destroy them in an instant. And they create a lot of supernatural stuff going on in the air, in the space. Some people don't see it. Other people see it. You'd be standing around and somebody can see it. And it's invisible to others. See, it's all magic trick. Because they're coming in and out of wormholes. They've been here all the time. It's not like they're coming from another planet. They call it the star system Sirius. It's where they're coming from.
where Satan and his demons live, or they hang out there, you know? That's the hangout place. Jesus said in the Bible, I think at least once, ye gods take a rest on the Sabbath. And as I've mentioned, he wasn't talking about wooden gods, metal gods, stone gods. He was talking about those who actually had supernatural powers. They were fallen angels, considered as gods, but not the God. Take a rest on the Sabbath. All these hidden mysteries. It's not a mystery to me. There's been civilizations well and truly before our Adam. Yeah. So when the Hindus and the Buddhists talk about this stuff, it's not all so stupid. You'll find out that we've been very closed-minded. All we think about is preaching this gospel, shoving it down people's throats, sending them 10 times more to hell the Bible warns against, standing there, no evolution within yourself, just complete glutton, bloody pigs and dogs out there telling people they're going to burn in hell. Buddhists and bloody Hindus and Catholics and all going to burn because they're not born again. You see, this is the nonsense of it. And these would be thugs. You take away the gospel, Paul, and that born-again spirit transformation in their life, all their lip service, all their sinner's prayer, because Jesus never even ever said anything about that. That came from Paul. Lip service doesn't save you nothing. You got to love your neighbor, you love everybody. You don't cherry pick. So you take all that away from them, they lost. They'd be thugs again. Go back to their bloody vomit like a dog. You're saved by your works in some way. You're saved by your doingness or going into the beingness, which the Buddhists go into the beingness. They don't do so much, but they've got a principle. You go into the beingness, get it out of your head into your heart, and then the doingness will come. Faith without works is dead. You are saved by law. But if you can't live it, you live by the law, you die by the law, then grace is ready to be activated at any point. As long as these people that they've accepted Christ, no matter what, you've accepted Christ, right? Now, if the papacy and the Vatican know all about what the Antichrist is all about, they know all this stuff, they're hiding it, they know that it's the false church, they know it, and they still continue to manipulate and control the people. They're the ones in danger of the judgment. But the basic Catholic people who don't know any better, they're not. See, they're not going to burn. They're just trying to be decent people with some tradition. And Paul wasn't against tradition. He was only against the worshipping of Marian statues and so forth. There's only one mediator, that's Christ. But then Christ said these people that have the spiritual fruits, like that girl in Bali that would get up early in the morning, as soon as the sun come up, or before the sun come up, she'd be burning this little incense, and right outside my hotel room, in a little bowl of like a little fish pond kind of bowl with a leaf and beautiful incense, and she was standing there looking out through the bloody window, and I thought, isn't that lovely? She was bringing the spirit of the animal kingdom in. See, Jesus is not against that. It's not as pagan as you think. You see? So all of this stuff has meaning. It goes back millions of years. It goes back even before our Adam. It all started from the Sumerians. They wrote the text talking about the alien gods, the fallen. They wrote all that down, but they weren't Christian. They were considered pagan. But even the Good Samaritan that stopped, which is a parable, the Good Samaritans weren't in the real life. They weren't Christian either, but they were the better example. Jesus said he was the better example, stopped to help the wounded man, while the Pharisee and the Levite priest going onto the temple busy, just left him for dead. Do you see what I'm getting at? You'll be judged on how much love was in your heart. And there are people that just love nature. They don't want to kill. They've got such a love and empathy for animals and everything. Jesus Jesus commends people like that. Not condemn, commends. But no, you'll get these Christians who come along and they'll condemn you, you know. They say action speaks louder than words, and you're accountable for your thoughts. If you think something bad, it's as bad as bloody murder. You think murderous thoughts. Well, that's what the Bible does say. But you know what? If that's the case, the Buddhists and the Hindus clear that up. They try to empty themselves from all that ego thing and let the nature spirit come in. Oh no, that's witchcraft. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh yes, you can. And all the kundalini of the spinal fluid and which represents the third chakras is ego, and you get into the heart chakras and the third eye and everything. It's not evil. It was there from the Enoch's time. All of this stuff. I mean, Satan copied it. Or you could say if there is a Satan, I mean, the devil doesn't want you to believe that it even exists. But then again, the Essenes teach that most of the stuff that goes on in this world is not Satan. It's you. You're worse because you've got a body and he hasn't. And all these demons. It's like we're Satan. We're doing this shit. Right? If there's a devil, then it's like he gets you to kick a man down, and once he's down, you keep kicking him. That's worse because you've got a body and the demons do not. You're vicious. Well, the Christians and Muslims, very vicious. Yet they claim the truth in the way that everyone else is pagan. Paganism, look, you get touched by the spirit, right? And understanding what the Essenes taught. I can be a Christian Buddhist. I can be a Christian Hindu. And if I really got to be part of something apostolic, I could be a Christian Mormon or Christian Catholic. Okay, Baptists and Church of Christ and all that evangelists will say they're full-on Christian. But then again, they're not practicing all the fullness of the fruits because they don't really love all their neighbours. They only love half the neighbours. They might spend time with prostitutes and drunks, which Jesus commended because he did it himself. He called the Jews puffed up, prideful, self-righteous, and they crucified him. And they held that priesthood and everything. We're not talking Pharisee. All right, and we're not just talking caring about the prostitutes and the drunks, which is commendable, right? We've got to care about people who actually are spiritual, committed. I don't care Catholic or Hindu or Buddhist. They are not standing on street corners and preaching this garbage of you're going to burn. People spend a lifetime preaching this garbage, and they say it's the word, and warning people. Yes, you might wake up in some form of hell, and you might be there 1,000 years if you're really bad, but all karma has to be burnt up. These are ancient teachings and ancient mysteries. God loves us. We're the most special out of any type of creature, you can say, any type of living force in the universe. We're it. If there's alien, good-looking ones out there that they may have something to do with God, I don't know, but probably vegetarian or this. They've got the blue-eyed ones, you've got the tall whites, and all these different types of aliens. And in Enoch's time, he was taken up in a spacecraft. Apparently, he described it, and the scientists, who are a lot of them are atheists, are saying, "Yeah, this is interesting. Some evolution of this. Why would Enoch be taken up in a spaceship? Does angels fly around in spaceships? Or are they the tall whites? Or are they the different types of species and creatures that actually operate under the law of God? And then you got the evil ones, the reptilian ones that the Scientologists worship, if they believe they won over good, evil rules. And Tom Cruise and John Travolta is a Scientologist. And Ron Hubbard, who was the start of it, because he wrote all those fiction books on aliens, he's a bloody warlock, bloody practicing black magic and everything with Walt Disney and of course even that Russell guy, I can't remember his first name, from the Jehovah's Witness, the founder of the Jehovah's Witness Church was into black magic.
He was also Illuminati and everything. He was part of it. So if you just sit back and don't question, and and just believe everything, you got to go back to the grassroots. And I've done the research, and there was a time when Buddhists were cannibals. There was a time in the village they went a bit crazy. Oh, battery's going flat. There's a time when Hindu would do some crazy things too, and the woman would sacrifice her life if her husband died and put her on a raft and burn her and the husband. The husband's already dead, and his wife, she's burning to death. She's going down with the husband. He's dead and she's laying on the raft with her dead husband. I mean, these are rituals, but those rituals are necessary. See, there's an extreme in everything. Extreme in born-again Christians, extremes. You've got to find the balance. It's all about balance. Don't have to. Even after it's dead and you eat it, pray over that poor animal that gave its life voluntarily. How many people do that as Christians? Oh, can't wait to go to McDonald's again and get a burger. No thought whatsoever for those poor animals. I mean, I'm not forbidding meat, not forbidding anything, everything in moderation. But where's the prayer? Where's the ritual? Where's the love and empathy? See the hypocrisy in it? I'm only exposing deceptions and hypocrisy. I played the piano today. I was filled with aggression, but that's music, and I upset that girly boy. He didn't like it. I like Mozart too. I was always in love with Mozart. I've been to Salzburg and played his piano, and he's painting behind me, all smiles. When I played Beethoven's piano, I heard a voice say, "Piss off." He was an angry bugger. He had syphilis and he half deaf and everything. But he was Beethoven, Mozart, most greatest composer ever lived. And then you got Liszt, who was the master of grand piano, and then you got Grieg. He didn't get so popular because it was all kind of during the war and everything. He was a bit like Robert Frost. He tried to give people some peace during the war, and once the war was all over, he's still very famous. He's recorded in history as famous, but what's that song called? Mountain, the Hall of the Mountain King, and all that beautiful stuff. Hitler loved Wagner. And if you watch Schindler's List, he chose a Jew, which he didn't execute, because he could play Wagner. And Hitler's crying, his tears, emotion, and yet he's a killer, genocide, killing Jews. Yet he was appreciating the beautiful aggression type of classical nature that Wagner expressed through music. And this Jewish guy was playing the piano for Hitler. See, what an hypocrisy. Thou shalt not kill. What happened to that commandment? That means everything. Thou shalt not kill an animal unless it's survival. And there's some, and I believe Buddhists, I think Hindus too, they don't kill animals. And so Jesus Christ commends them. He doesn't curse them and tell them you're pagan, you're going to burn in hell. Yes, I've got aggressions too. I get very aggressive, but it comes out through the music or self-defense. Then I'll get aggressive. I just want to be at peace. I got on a bus the other day, and this big bikey guy, he's an ex-biker, I could tell he's got a job because they have to work. And I knew he was a tough bugger. It's not an Indian or not any other culture. They're very nice, even African. And I walked in there with some lunch, food. And he said, "Get off my bus. You can't take that food on the bus." And I said, "Well, I'm diabetic and I got to eat when I do. And I've got a doctor's letter and everything." "Oh, piss off. You're not coming on my bus with that food. I'm not going to clean this bus if you mess up my bus. My bus." See, even a doctor's letter. He was just a bike, he's thrown his weight around, who's now a bus driver. And he was a big guy, huge. You wouldn't want to mess with him. You see, but I've never had any problem with any other culture, with African, or they're very nice bus drivers, African or Muslim, even Muslim, or Sikhs. But it has to be the Aussie. It has to be the smart ass, tough ass, bloody Aussie that's ready to fight you. One did actually step off the bus to fight me, and I said, "What are you What are you pissed off for? Why are you in a bitchy mood, mate? You had a bit of a fight with your wife and kids." And I knew it. I knew he had a big fight with his wife before he started driving those buses. And I was on. Everybody was standing there watching. And this the other guy was huge, got off the bus to fight me. But you knew he'd go to jail because you can't. You hit somebody in this country, you're up for charges. Like I mentioned, that poor granny that killed that burglar. Excuse my bloody dyslexic tonight. Very bad tonight. He had a wooden baseball bat, the criminal that broke into her house, and she had a metal one. And they arrested her because her weapon was more powerful than the criminal's weapon. And this criminal would have bashed her half to death because she found him stealing from her house. And she kills him with a bloody metal baseball bat. Good old granny. But I mean, she goes to jail for that? For self-defense because her weapon is more powerful than the bloody criminal's weapon? If she had no weapon at all, she'd be killed. That caught him red-handed, stealing, cutting off bloody TVs and everything from a TV and that, I mean, it's just stupid laws, really stupid. Another granny went to jail for 6 months and had 3 fingers stuck up her from a cop. And them days it was probably a male cop, but now they have woman cops, same in customs and security, because her son or grandson was growing marijuana crops at the back of her house, and she was so innocent. She didn't know it was marijuana. They arrested her. And she says, "Oh, what's this? Are these plants up the back? Nice plants, look like weeds, It's my grandson's weeds." "Oh, no, this is your property, isn't it?" "Yeah. You've been growing marijuana plants at the back of your house. You're going up for charges." 6 months and 3 fingers stuck up on her to check her for drugs. How stupid. That's stupid. Oh, you know what I did? I went and brought an old bag from the op shop, and it had cocaine in it. Not much, a little bit. And when I went through customs, I handed it to the wife at the time. Poor thing. She's had to be the poor thing that got a buddy arrested on the spot. They put it through the X-ray, but wasn't enough to be arrested. And it was, my mum was there as a witness. She said, she got me the bag from an op shop, and it was, had cocaine in it, tiny little bit, picked up on the X-ray. My poor wife nearly got arrested, and she never got over that. It's like, she was humiliated. They're going to stick 3 fingers up her too. Check her out with a glove. Crazy, isn't it? You just look at a person's eyes, you look into their heart, and you can see that they're innocent. This is the thing. I'm pretty good at that. I can tell if a person's sincere or not. Doesn't mean they won't ask for money if they need help, but they're not robbing banks. They're not, they're not criminals. They're just people who starve, and they can't help themselves. They've got to ask, because when you're friggin' hungry, aren't you going to ask? And don't worry about thieving an apple, because when you're hungry, God will take that into account. You're not going to be, you don't even have to repent of that sort of thing. Like the Africans in the village would crawl into these British sort of monarchy things, where they're having a big feast, a big pig on the table, and they sneak in there, get under the table and put their hand up, there's a big black hand coming up through and then they reach for the pork or whatever they eat, get caught and whipped and slaved by the pompish Poms, all living it up in Africa. They're ruling over Africa. You see, you try being hungry, and yeah, right. You don't worry about the rules then. You gotta eat.
unless you want to do the 40-day fast thing, see how long you go. I last 5 nights, I collapsed. Three nights is enough for me. 3's enough. 5 was the max. I'm diabetic. I can't fast 40 days and 40 nights. But if I did, it had to be by force. Yeah. So anyway, any more comments? 1 hour, all right. 6 people online. Oh shit, I'm missing the comments. I've got a speech impediment tonight. It just comes and goes because I have got severe damage, and I'm perfectly okay. So I don't want anybody smart ass coming on my channel and saying, "Oh, he can't speak. He's a dumbass. He's retard." I'm actually not a retard. I'm educated and everything. I've just got a problem with my grammar at times. I'm actually a secondary school teacher. But when I go to these public places, I normally speak okay. You know, it's normally, I get either idle or bored. I look around, where's the rituals? Where's the incense? Where's that lovely girl that would light the incense? You know, I mean, I miss all that. You don't get that in this country. You get nothing. It's just sterile. It's structured. It's just shithole, really. But the work's good if you can get a job, and then you can travel. So it's really good for work here if you can get it, and you know, you live like kings, more so than there's other countries. And if you can help somebody, that's great, but you can't help everybody. You might just help somebody, right? You've just helped somebody out, and then another person pops up, and that person starves to death, and you can't help. And you just help one person, the other one starves. I mean, it's sad. You wonder, if we can't help everybody, I won't help anybody at all then. And even as Jesus said, if you bring one unto me, how great will be your joy in heaven. I brought my grandmother, because when I had the accident, my grandmother was there at the accident scene, because it was Black Friday, superstitious, and all the drunken miners were coming home from the mines, and I got hit, and she warned me. She said, "Oh, not a good day today." She's very superstitious. And when she saw the blood, and she saw, you know, I was out of my body, and I was being taken through the veil, through the blackness, with the angel, and my grandmother was calling out, and that's what brought me back. I was going to go with the angel, and she said, "Oh, whatever he believes in, or whatever God or church I'm going to be part of." And she kept her promise, and because I lived, even though I physically died, but not brain dead. And then weeks and months after that, in and out of consciousness. The doctor said there's no way I can survive. And I know that if I don't do the Lord's work, I go down, I get sick. I'm here with a purpose. My music, that's my talent. I don't hide it. I made a career out of music, so I've done well. I've written 4 books, but I can't format it, and they're rejecting it. This is ridiculous. And job references, I can teach in the schools, even the Christian schools, they reject it because it's not the right format. And I've got all the qualifications and references. I mean, what's going on in this world? You can't even get a job because you don't know how to put the right format. You just can't take a photo and then send it. You got to put it certain thing. No one's ever told me how to do it. I need to get help on all that sort of thing. How do you publish a book now? It's all online. You know, it's just, I've got 4 books, and it needs editing. That costs money, thousands of dollars to get a good editor. And yet Neil Donald Walsh, the greatest white dude in the world to ever preach all this stuff, the Brahmin, the Hindu, the Buddhist, Christian, everything. He was a beggar on the street, living out of a garbage bin for a year. But he was originally a radio announcer. So, and he got poor. His Catholic family of 8 kids broke up. She still hates him today. He's married to his sweetheart. He's got his spirit mate, you can say. He gives most of his money away. But he wrote these books called Conversations with God, book 1 to 4. What was I going to say about Neil Donald Walsh? And he said, all these different religions have got truths, but if one religion claims it's the only truth,
that's sort of red alert. It's like, what do you call it? Alarm bells, red flags, because you'll find that they're Pharisees. They're hiding behind their book, or they're hiding behind their robes or something. We're right, you're wrong, and they call everyone else, like they call Hindus and Buddhists pagans and all this sort of thing. Even some witches are not really witches in the sense they do magi, which is magic. They do alchemy. How can I put it? They're not evil. They're just, there's Christian witches. I mean, how can I put it? This is sort of stuff that can raise an eyebrow. Look, you'll know it. There are people that have a lot of love in their heart, but they're not actually fundamentally, radically Christian. They convert at some future stage. Their life is not a waste of experience. But if you live your life to all that structured society and then retirement, and you drop dead, you don't even get to enjoy your retirement. You've gone your whole life climbing up the top of the wall only to realize you climbed up the wrong one. What does it profit a man or woman to gain the whole friggin' world and yet lose their soul? See, Buddhists and Christians have a soul that they're operating. They're really made to start. It's just, my message is to make Christ your focus. Because he could have even incarnated in the Buddha. It could be Christ that disappeared mysteriously, and he lived before he was born in the flesh, didn't he? He was the God of the Old Testament and everything. So he's probably visited many nations, and then Thomas, his apostle, went in afterward, preached in India, and got killed. The Jewish gospel. Maybe the Indian people couldn't understand it. Can you imagine people that are into animal spirit and nature and everything, and then suddenly this Jewish gospel comes and starts preaching to them and tell them, to become whatever. Of course, Thomas, he was apostolic. I mean, it wasn't Paul. Paul did all that too. Telling people they're going to burn in hell if they don't become a Christian. So there's all these misconceptions anyway. We just can't help everybody. Live and let die. Unfortunately, sometimes it's some people. Why does bad things happen to good people? Why is it? I've done this. I've actually helped a person, and just after I've given the money or whatever, someone else is in need, and then that person misses out, and you can't help that person. That's happened, and I think, well, why, God? Why is that person missing out, but I help that person? I can't help everybody. And talking about that, only fun thing to help my daughter. There's only 2 people in the whole world that's actually helped, and that's Peter, my mate. He's ex-Mormon. He gave 100, but he knows me personally, and Crystal gave me $5. I only asked for $1, and no one else has reached in their pocket, pulled out $1. I just wonder why. Was it so hard? If people fear online things and scams, well, GoMeFund is legit. They get 7%, but you can go on Bitcoin coins and you can buy books from Amazon and all this sort of stuff. But it's so hard to give me $1 to my daughter. See, this is the thing. Some people would say, "Oh, shameful thing to ask." Look, I don't ask. I've never done. It's the first time because I got friggin' scammed. I had 12 grand taken from me, buddy. The devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. But you lose everything and get it all back in some way. And like Job, he lost his family and kids, murdered and all sorts of things. He got it all back. He got a new wife, new family, new kids. In fact, he didn't get his wife back. He got another one. So you can lose everything. That's the real test, isn't it? And it is a test because the way the soul reacts to things. This whole thing about Scientology is about how you react, but they clear their head through this reptilian bloody God thing. It's just crazy. It's batshit. That's not the way to do it. I'd rather be a Buddhist than a Scientologist or a bloody Hindu. Giving credence to the bloody reptilians. That's stupid. What a cult Scientology is. Empowered to become like Tom Cruise, impossible. He broke his leg once on one of his movie sets because he's always jumping out of planes. He's doing all sorts of crazy stunts and everything. He's a stuntman as well, you know. I thought he was invincible, but he's getting old now. Anyway, if I keep on dribbling, you know, when you play basketball, you dribble the ball. It's a joke. How does what's the word? I've forgotten the joke. What does a basketball player do? What's it? He dribbles before he shoots. No, that didn't work. Not very funny tonight. Does a basketball player throw a ball? He dribbles before he shoots. What's this? Your local Gatch tuber says, bro, I think, welcome. Sorry, my eyes are not so good today. Hey, Kirky, Joseph. Excuse me. Welcome, Joseph. I did email you with Yahoo and you responded, and I replied to you again. I haven't checked it 3 days ago. I did. So it did work. Okay, so I'll check it again if you've left me any email there. Okay. Thanks, Joseph. Yeah, love you, bro. Yeah. I know you got a good heart. Something happened in your life. You just got a bit lost there, but nevertheless, I've been where you've been. So I empathize. I own the dark to appreciate the light. But anyway, no, you just do things in your own time. And anyway, I've got my problems. We've all got problems. Are you an inbreed? No, if I was, I'd be HD negative bloodline, which is alien. And some people have got HD negative. It's alien DNA. It's mixed. There's hybrids and shapeshifters and people out there that they look human. As I said, who believes me, I was in a bank once. I don't know why an alien would walk into a bank, but this woman was green and she had lizard eyes. And you know what? I froze. I was forbidden. My tongue was bound. My mum was standing next to me and I couldn't move. I was just watching this thing, unless I hallucinated. She's walking around the bank. I don't know why. I'm going to rob a bank. Reptilian robbing a bank. And then she walked out and it disappeared. I said to Mum, did you see that green thing? That woman was green. Or her skin was green and she had bloody lizard eyes. You know, like weird looking. Flashing like she was a robot or an android. Bloody cockroach. Yep, but I couldn't move. I couldn't even go and touch her to find out if it was real. Man. And I don't take drugs or anything like that. No, nothing like that. I wasn't even having a smoke in days. I mean, I'm not... Look, I have these experiences and you can't tell too many people about it because they just think you're crazy. Anyway, praise the Lord. No, Joseph. No, not Lord Satan, mate. Anyway, the Essenes teach that we are Satan. It's just a negative polarity. And what pleasure do you get out of that? Why not intimacy, Joseph? Aim for the intimacy, right? It can be very sexual in the intimacy, very beautiful, sacred, right? So why do we want to desecrate it? Right? God doesn't hate sex and all that. Just why do we have to turn into something messy and disgusting. That's ego, and it's not the real you. And if it wins the victory, it'll drag you down to hell. For how long? I don't know. It could be 50, 100 years, 1,000 years. But time goes, it's different there. You can't feed that creature. It's just something that you can have in a marriage or a relationship with a partner, stress release, ego thing, and then go back to the light. That's the choice for being Christian anyway. And of course, I think Buddhist and Hindus and all vegetarian, I would imagine that they don't go all beastie. See, it's what you eat, and Apostle Paul said, don't take any thought of what you eat and drink. Well, I'm diabetic, I have to. And yet people stand on street corners and preach with aggression while eating their burgers. I mean, it's all meat eating, bloody preaching gospel. It's all beastie. And that's preaching religion. I mean, when I play the piano, I can be beastie. I'm letting out of a lot of aggression, but like Beethoven. But and when I preach and I'm getting all angry, that's only because I'm sharing my experiences of how religion has hurt me. I'm not getting beastie like saying, no, this is what the Holy Spirit works. No, the Holy Spirit does not work with anything to do with that type of any type of negativity like that, or hate, or hate this, hate your parents, otherwise you're not worthy of God. All that Old Testament stuff. Stone your children to death for disobedience. There are people that take that literally. See, get off them. That type of behaviour, get off the meat. No, I'm still having an occasional. I'm mainly having fish, but I've gone off red meat because of the iron. Because I've got a problem with too much iron in my body from that radiation thing. It's rusting like a car junkyard, mate. I noticed the differences, but I did actually have. You can have. I've had meat, but not red meat, so I noticed the difference when I don't have it at all. Fish is okay. It seems to be doesn't affect my karma. So I don't know. Jesus ate fish, didn't he? I don't know. I think he did. Okay. Amrad Associate says hello. I lived in East Pakistan for 2 years, taught in Muslim schools, and it was a great experience. It was a great experience, but it was warfare at first because I was married to a war correspondent. Had to get all that sorted out. Man, that was scary. But once I got into it, I made friends. I have good memories. I went to weddings. I performed everything for Muslims and Hindus. Yeah, I really had a life there, and I was respected. I was honoured. Get the salute, everything, Anyway, welcome from Pakistan, my friend. I know it's got its dangers. Afghanistan's even worse, but it's hard, A lot of Muslims come on this channel because Instagram had a lot of Muslims, but I understand them. I understand their doctrine of what they teach, and I like Muhammad, and I also like the Quran. I think it's more pure than the Bible. I think it's less. Well, I don't see much corruption in it. Whatever come after that is extra. Same with the Bible, got messed up and everything. But the Quran is pretty pure, man. So is the Book of Mormon. It's even more pure than the Bible. It's straight, direct from the prophet. And if that book was foretold in the Bible, Isaiah 29, then you can't dismiss it as another gospel. It's a second witness gospel. And it spoke about all those South American people and how Jesus descended upon those temples, though he turned his back on the one in Israel because it was an abomination. Yeah, it's amazing. All this hidden mysteries. It's very interesting. I believe God gave the Muslims, what's the word? That angel experience, be it Gabriel or not. But God allowed it, man. There are certain people that go to a certain paradise and they're going to be happy, and that's it, all right, with or without Christ. But the born-again Christians will tell you everyone's going to burn if they're not born again or something. It means Catholics and Protestants will burn. It's just so judgmental, it makes you want to vomit. No matter why the Muslims get stirred up, especially the Catholic Church. And they used to protect us Christians back in the ancient times because of the tyranny of murderous bloodshed of the Catholic Church, killing everyone. So two wrongs don't make a right. But anyway, I've got some good Muslim friends, and I've got a lot of respect for them, and they got a lot of respect for me. And they protect one another too, especially in the public. How the Muslims can come and swarm around another Muslim and protect that Muslim. But Christians, they can leave you for dead. Oh, he's a Mormon, he's not Christian. Oh, oh no, he's a Protestant. Oh, he's a Catholic. Oh no, get stuffed. Oh, you got to be a proletarian. See, a Muslim's Muslim. See, this is the thing. It's not divided like as much like any other church. In fact, born-again Christian evangelists is 47,500 split divisions. And they cherry pick and they don't fully love their neighbor. So you can be a Catholic, Protestant, or what else, Mormon or whatever, and they're going to spit on you. They're going to walk away and wipe the dust from your feet. But Muslims don't walk away from Muslims. They surround and they gather and they protect one another. See, that's what we're supposed to do as Christians. See? And they're more civilized in some ways, because this Muslim guy was telling me how the Queen Victoria used to have her ass wiped by the butler with a big sponge when there's water sprays in those countries, third world countries. Why do we have toilet paper? And why do we, why can't we have a water hose, the spray hoses that in the toilets? Why? Clean our backsides. It's just stupid. Stupid Western world, uncivilized. A guy got on the bus the other day from Europe. He said, "Where's the bloody USB thing in the bus?" His wife was in hospital. He's trying to get his phone was flat, and he wanted to ring his wife in the hospital. And the bus driver couldn't care less. He says, "We don't have it. Don't worry about it. Sit down. Sit down." He's walking around the bus while the bus is going, looking for a USB plug-in. And the bus driver couldn't give a shit that his wife was in hospital, and he's trying to call her. No one even offered him a phone. My phone was turned off. No one offered him a phone, nothing. See how uncivilized we can be? Poor bugger. He's traveling around here from Europe, and he's trying to get to his wife in hospital. Nobody would even give him a phone to make a call. See? There you go. This just goes to show the hypocrisy of it all. Truth Seekers Online. As a Muslim, I grew up with Christian brothers and sisters, close friends for over 30 years. I have made sure they don't go down the wrong path in path 2. Good on you, brother. Yep. They might claim, well, look, Christians claim Jesus. You know the story, brother. But that doesn't mean they're right either. It is those fruits of the Spirit, those principles, Christian or not. You may not even know it, but Jesus taught a lot of stuff. He taught about a lot of stuff that are in other religions, that even non-Christian religions, and yet they practice the principles. And Jesus spoke to the Essenes and said that these principles, these fruits of the Spirit, were more justified than the Christian who was had murderous intent or wiping the dust from their feet, telling people are going to burn everything. It's like a lot of it was parables. Muslims believe in a paradise. Okay, there's been a Muslim, it's on YouTube, he died, he went to hell and he saw Muhammad burning and Buddha, and he come back and become an evangelist, again, shoving the Bible down people's throat, leading people 10 times more to hell. Look, most people that have near-death experiences come back with nothing but a love. All they know is a loving God. And God is so merciful, he gives everybody a paradise, except for those who are Christian, who know about God and angels, walked and talked with God, and then deny the Holy Spirit. Muslims are not, they might tell you that they don't believe in all that. So, but they're not denying the Holy Spirit because they don't believe it. They don't believe in the Trinity, and it wasn't. It was in the original first century Bible, the Book of Sinai. There was no friggin' Trinity. God, Allah doesn't have a partner. That's what it says. So how come we ended up with all the Trinity thing? The Catholic Church messed the Bible up, but the Christians will say, "Oh no, God wouldn't allow that." They hide behind that Bible, where there's eyewitness accounts and other things, contradictions and all sorts of things. People that never even met Jesus. So it's corrupted, man. It just is. It's corrupted. Even the New Testament can be a little bit corrupted, though the Old Testament. But so Muslims have their Quran, and I think it's a beautiful book. And, you know, it even says, kind of funny, really, steal from the rich and give to the poor. Robin Hood, you know. But the Christian Bible's like, steal from the poor and give to the rich. All these rich, filthy, bloody pastors out there with white suits and $100 million jets, and Shefflo Dollar, the black guy that's kicking $100 bills around it on stage and say, we can all get friggin' rich by being a Christian. Rip people off, in other words, or pay 10 times more tithing. It's a bloody circus. It's a bloody show. It's superficial. It's nonsense. Prosperity gospel. Though you can attract it if you stupid. What's the word? You can be a smart ass, but in the third world countries, they pay their tithing. They friggin' well starve. But see, this is where you're supposed to be in unity in the faith. As I said about Muslims, they stand around, they protect each other. Even when a Christian is blabbering and shoving that Bible down the Muslims' throats, all these other Muslims come and gather around. They protect one another. This guy's standing on a Coca-Cola crate and preaching about Jesus. Jesus is the way, but if you don't follow this way, or you're not a born again of the Spirit, you're going to burn. See? They need to shut their mouths. They think they're warning the world, but they themselves are nothing but thugs without the Bible anyway. It's very aggressive, a very aggressive book, but it's got a lot of wisdoms in it too, the Psalms and everything. It's all good. But I've read the Quran a long time ago, and it's got a lot of, it's almost like reading, what's that? Who's that guy? William Wordsworth, the Prince poet, the poet of peace. It's just got a lot of poetical beauty in it. Yeah. So the true Muslim hasn't got murderous intent. They've got laws, I understand that. But I personally, if I was to find any flaw, if my wife committed adultery, I wouldn't tell anyone. I know you got to have 4 witnesses, you Muslims out there, but I wouldn't dob her in. Dob means confess. Dob her in and have her bloody executed, stoned to death. Where is thy accuser? Well, of course you got the witnesses. I just wouldn't do it. I'd give her 3 chances anyway. You commit adultery the 3rd time, you can piss off. End up in divorce. I don't care if man divorces, she divorces. The Bible says, oh, you can't divorce unless somebody commits adultery. Okay. Well, either way, Muslims have got to satisfy their wife sexually. Otherwise, the wife can divorce them. And they want to be pure because they teach that. All purity and all this sort of thing. Sexually and everything, and yet they've got to satisfy their wives. And if they're not in the mood, how are they going to get in the friggin' mood? What? See, that's a law. Yeah, a wife can divorce a Muslim if he doesn't satisfy her. Well, that's a pressure thing. I'm a halfway job. I don't even want to do sex. I would rather have a playful companionship who loves the Lord, and and what can I say? As I mentioned about the Gnostics, they were not married because they refused to marry in the Catholic Church. That was the rule. Ruling over the people. So they received revelation to shack up. They were living together, but they didn't do sex for lust. They only did it for intimacy or having children. They did a lot of foreplay. They were playful. Like they love. See, I'm like that. I wouldn't want to be married to a woman that says, "Oh, stick it in," or "You got to do it, otherwise you're not a man," and get all fighting and fight over it. No, I'd rather be playful. And when she's got a period, a lot of men piss off. I know Muslims will not have nothing to do with a woman physically, fair enough. But I'd rather sit in the balcony and have a smoke and a coffee and be around that woman even during her bitchy time. If I really want to go into a spare room and do some music, because I can't stand her bitchiness. But I don't go with the boys. I don't. A lot of men just piss off. I knew a guy who was a surfy, a very professional surfer. He'd piss off every time as soon as she got a period, she'd be pissed off for 3 days. He didn't want to be around her. And anyway, eventually they broke up, got divorced, and she married a man twice her age. And he just wanted to be with her 24/7, even when she's got a period. So, you know, you gotta love somebody on all levels, even when they've got the blood issue. All right. I know the beastie level couldn't care less, blood issue or not, they still do sex. People agree to these things, but the Muslims, they keep it clean, all right? So I think it's just, I don't know. I think you're really playing with fire there if a woman's bleeding and you still want to have sex. Men need to control themselves. But if a woman begs for it, I don't know. What would you do in that situation? Does a man care? Anyway, I just respect the rules and the law with relationships, but I don't believe in having your wife executed for adultery. At least give her 3 chances. I don't think. I mean, a woman come on this channel a couple of years ago. She was a nanny in the Middle East, working for what do you call it? A shriek, an Arab, and because she was watching these videos, YouTube, Christianity, they locked her up for 3 months and bashed her up, and I never heard from her for 3 months, and then she would come one day on the channel crying and everything, and she said that they didn't want to hear about her being a Christian, but she wasn't a Muslim. But yet, I don't know. She was sitting up late at night, and she was a maid, and she, I guess, watching Christian things. Anyway, I don't know. It's just extremes in everything. That's all I'm saying. All right. Like I said, I got aggressive today. I was playing the piano. I was full on Beethoven type. Not Beethoven, but I was playing like him. And this girly boy manager of the shop, who owns the shop, has been passed down from family business since 1923, great grandfather, everything. He got upset, man. He didn't like it. He wanted me to play all that Mozart stuff, which I do love, but he was really angry, man. He got angry because I was playing this heavy stuff. It's like I was stirring up a bloody with a big sword ready to chop heads off. It was just music, man. It was a really powerful type of aggression, but it wasn't a real battle. It was just a battle in the soul. It was a musical soul experience, but he didn't like it. It was, girly boys don't like that. And some women out there, man haters, they don't like aggression. They don't like any real man. But you go to these other countries where Asian women and some Indian women too, they love a real man. Even an older man, older than her. They don't want girly boys, and they don't want friggin' what's another one? They don't care how you look. They go on your character. And even though we're not filthy rich here, we're just average, but our money is worth 3 times more in those countries. So you can buy a house over there for 50 grand, which my daughter has one. But the thing is, it never got completed, run out of money. And that's, but anyway, I took care of them the best I could. I even sold a piano to help them get that house. That's crazy, isn't it? I gave up my career, everything. Not career, I gave up my livelihood to help my daughter. Yeah. So anyway, that's life. Truth Seeker says, I might have to go soon because I'm actually not able to contain my words tonight. I've got a bit of dyslexia. Is that the word? It only comes like once every couple of weeks. I'm having a grammar problem tonight. Yeah, because my right side was damaged from the accident, and I'm having speech impediment. Damn it! I can laugh about it. I'll have a bit of coffee. I need something to pep myself up. See, if I had to be a fundamental Mormon and I could have a coffee, I haven't had a coffee. I'm going to have one. This is how I'll start acting in the church. No wonder I get kicked out. Man, I need a freaking coffee. Sorry, I'm missing. I've got to go. I've got some instant coffee. I'll do that. I can't even see. I'm going blind. Oh man, blurred vision. I've got to get some caffeine into me. Not Coke, not that shit. That's okay sometimes. Coffee's better than bloody Coke, you know. These bloody Mormons, they don't drink bloody coffee, but they can drink Coke. Sometimes we need some caffeine. I need some caffeine. Hey, instant milk coffee. Oh, that feels better. See, I'm trying to see if I can go without a freaking coffee. See how it affects me? But they don't care. Oh, we're breaking the rules. Mormon. I believe in breaking the rules. Well, I can. Hill on the Sabbath. So guys, he's still on. Oh, I'll go get some coffee into me. Cheers. Just give me a moment. I need caffeine badly. Stuff the rules. See what happens. Some rules were meant to be broken. I feel a little bit better. Need a smoke too. I hate it when that happens. When I went to church and got kicked out for 7 years, I had fasted for 48 hours, and I was like a bloody a herm. Oh, what do you call it? I was in a trance. What do you call it? I can't even think of the word. It's like a zombie. A zombie. I went to church like a friggin' zombie, and they took advantage of me. The bloody mafia-looking bishop kicked me out. I only got back from East Pakistan not long. You know, it's like I was in a trance. You know, I looked like bloody. I was going to preach another gospel, and I was preaching the Muslim. I wasn't converting people because Joseph Smith, the Mormon prophet, compared himself to modern-day Muhammad. He called himself modern-day Muhammad, and then Muhammad from Islam. Both received books, an angel. Both are literate, uneducated. And these dumbasses say, oh, Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon. Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh, Muhammad wrote the bloody Quran. Bullshit. Muhammad couldn't even... He was a bit like me at the moment, illiterate. It was inspired. Oh, but it's not talking about Jesus, is it? How can it be inspired? Of course, Jesus he loves the Muslims. That's their world. That's their seed. They come from the seed of Ishmael, which they believe Ishmael was being sacrificed on the mount, not bloody Isaac. See,
Joseph, you're online still, mate. As much as I'm having a bit of a problem speaking tonight, there's Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and all sorts of walks of life on this channel. All intelligent people who do not love poo, and they do not love all that dirty, filthy, lustful, sexual thing, and they don't love Satan. So you got to compare, in a sense, these people have got more wisdoms, even if they're Muslim, even if they're a bloody pagan, bloody whatever, Hindu, whatever you want to call it. They've got more wisdom than somebody who wants to eat poo. So those sort of comments, is definitely coming from a retard. And you said you were retarded and lusting after another man's daughter or something, I'm just saying, I'm hope that you gain some wisdoms, Joseph, because I know I know you're a faithful subscriber, and I'm trying to help you. There's something that makes me feel that you need some help. But you aren't going to convert anyone to Satan, so get over it. You're wasting your time. All you're thinking about is with your friggin' cock or something. You're thinking with your dick. That's all you're doing. All that sexual lust stuff. I've been there and done it. No, thank you, bro. I've been to Beastie Mask, performing in the elite clubs of the world, of the Illuminati, the Buddhists, not the Buddhists, I'm sorry. What did I say? The Illuminati, the Freemasons. The Buddhist. Gosh, I'm stuffing up tonight. And they would lick each other's vomits sexually, have their dicks hanging out and bloody pissing on everyone, and then bloody, and they're sexual. And the movie stars, people high up in society. I was playing the piano from Monte Carlo to New York. That's where you might want to be, Joseph, but you're not eloquent enough. You've got to be eloquent to even get in. And then once you get in, you can then put the mask on and do all sorts of beastie things. Take cocaine, everything. And these are very so-called highly intelligent people, right? Do the Muslims do that? I don't think so, right? Or Buddhists, not the Buddhists, not the Hindu. What else? This beastie thing, mate, it's satanic. It's only something that could sort of happen as a stress release in your own home with your own friggin' wife. And that's just a moment. You go bounce back to the light. You might have a bit of wild passion. But to have clubs, and very expensive clubs, and all these rich and famous people go, I've been there, I've seen it. Licking each other's shit. I'm being pretty full on tonight. I'm just trying to get a message out there. Is there some hierarchy to it? Is that what you need? You need some hierarchy to find out, become a member of the club of shit? There's no paradise for people like that. The Muslims are going to a paradise. The Buddhists are going to paradise. It's nirvana. The Hindus are going to a paradise. Even layman, common level Catholics are going to paradise, and Protestants and Mormons. But even intimate gays will probably go to paradise, but they're intimate. They're not. You see, why do people have to make something dirty? You see what I'm getting at? There's a separation. There are people that are going, that's it. And in the book of Thomas, the Lost Book of Thomas, is it Thomas? Yeah, Thomas. It talks about how a weak man can be married to a strong woman and she can lead. But that never got in the Bible because it would go to a woman's head, or a man. A woman can be senior ministers and pastors and everything. It never got in the Bible, but God even loves gays. But the ones that are actually, they wanted to destroy a Christian. They want to turn them into Satanists and lick each other's shit. That type of gay, or that type of sickness, even if it's gay or not, that's dark, man. That's just, I just get so upset about it. I would rather be I'd rather be a fundamental bloody Muslim in the front line of the friggin' war than be a shit licker. How disgusting. can't say the word. How disgusting can one get? Why do people choose the lowest of mentality? Right? Even some animals are faithful to each other all their life. Right? I know animals lick bums and all this sort of thing. What else? Monkeys riding on a bloody dog, lift the tail and sniff it and pull that face. Oh, stinky. I mean, let's get over it. Let's get off that level, but that's the level of the beast. I wrote a book called Beauty and the Beast, not the Walt Disney version, okay? There's aggression, and I understand that. There's warfare, there's bloodshed, all this terrible thing goes on. But I know the Muslims, and they've got purity. They've got a purity in their aspect of their marriage and their relationship, right? I don't think they're licking each other's shit. But the thing is, that's whatever husband and wife does, nothing forbidden in the bedroom. But to come out publicly and speak such filth, if you're in a Muslim country, you could be executed, Joseph. You could be bashed half to death. I don't know how you get away with it. Americans, what do you think the Statue of Liberty represents? Pornography and other things. The whole America is crumbling. That's why, again, the Muslims are looking at America and saying, what a shithole. Yet it's promised land and it's superior and it's got its nuclear weapons and everything. I don't care if Trump's a pussy snatch. I don't care about all that. I just know that he's strong, he's got aggression, and he's standing up for what he believes, but he's got a lot of flaws as well. No one wants a bloody weak leader unless, well, as I said, the ones who got no morality would choose Biden. The ones with some form of morality is going to choose Trump. The choice of the lesser evil, you could say. For goodness sake, stop talking about poo, Joseph. I don't like it. I mean, I just don't like it. Don't even bring that word up. You got yourself a bloody woman or whatever you want. You do what you want, but don't publicly flaunt it. Don't exhibition anything, either gay or not. Don't exhibition it. That's the exhibitionists are the bad guys. I got nothing against gay or in privacy and intimacy, like Elton John, he's married and all that sort of thing. I mean, just don't flaunt it. Because that's taking people down with you, getting people to sin or something. Just you do what you want to do, but just try not to be publicly disgusting, all right? Because I got people on this channel that are very spiritual, from all different walks of life and from all different religions. So let's show a bit of respect here, please. Thank you. I'm sorry, I had to get that off my chest. See, I needed caffeine. Sometimes I need to get my sugars up because it's too low. And when I'm low, my sugars drop and all of this, and I'm turning into a friggin' zombie, I start to have the memories of when I was raped by that guy, trying to rape my friggin' ass. It was so bloody terrifying, even though, though he didn't really succeed. I wandered off in the desert, off from the railway track, because I was working on the railway track. And I don't know how I got back to the camp, but I went around a big circle. I was crawling on my hands and knees. I had to come up to a big lizard on my nose. I was thirsty, had no water, had nothing. And I got back to my camp, and instead of showing empathy, they had helicopters out looking for me. You know what happened when I got back to the friggin' camp? You're fired. Your job's, they just got my bags, threw me on a friggin' Jeep and took me back into the town and dumped me. Not even the fact that I'd been raped when I was 17. By some fucking, sorry, I'm swearing, some friggin' bloody poo pusher. Please. If you want it, whatever you want to be, God loves you, yes, but just don't flaunt it. That's all I'm asking. Anyway, coffee's helping me get back to normal. Cheers, everyone. 6 people online. This is a spiritual channel. It's not a sexual channel. Though you can talk about things and ask questions. But don't be proud. Don't be exhibitionist about bloody all that sexuality. Keep it to yourself. Be humble. Sorry, I'm just getting upset a bit tonight. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? 5:53. Could someone tell me if that's in the morning or in the evening? Because I crashed today. I've been sleeping and I don't know if it's morning or evening. Yeah, true. I don't know if it's morning or evening. Is it 5:54 p.m. in the afternoon, or is it 5:53 a.m. in the morning? Oh, this is Australia. You're in different countries. Sorry, I haven't looked at the comments. Hold on. I'm trying to get my blood sugar right, and I'm trying to get my head right. I've had no contact with my family because they're all bloody Pharisees. Turned their back on them. My son, my daughter, everybody. They can't handle somebody with some type of problem. But despite all my flaws, I don't talk that shit with my kids. And I got my daughter in the Philippines. She's in contact with me. She's only 14. The others are in their 20s. Well, no, my son is in his 30s. My other daughter here is in bloody 20s. They don't want nothing to do with me because I preach Jesus. Yeah, they wouldn't want anything to do with me even if I was a bloody Muslim. They're anti-bloody God, anti-Christ, anti-God, anti-Allah, everything. I understand the rules. I understand the rules in that country, and I understand the rules in this country. Like I mentioned, that Muslim guy that I was working with in security, he was praying on his mat 5 times a day during a robbery, and I had to go and do it myself. That pissed me off. He lost his job. He's crying out to Allah. Oh, Allah, why dost thou forsake me? He lost his job. I said, mate, if we go and break the rules in your country, we will pay and suffer for it. So he's got a job to do. He's a friggin' security guard. You come to this country, you work in this country, you're not praying to Allah during a robbery. You could do it later. 5 times a day, yes. Just fit it in another time. Is there a rule that you have to pray at a certain time? Let alone what, face the east or something? Does it face the east? I couldn't even get into the security office because he's praying there. I'm trying to step over him to make a coffee. Oh, that was after yeah, that's right. I came back and he's still there, and then I had to report the robbery, and then that's right. The area security guard, the head type, he just sacked him, which means fired him. He's still praying when I got back. I got the walkie-talkies. Emergency, go out there and arrest, whatever. Well, I wasn't even fully qualified security guard. They gave me that role. I was doing everything. I was even cleaning and everything, but I had all the gear, all the equipment and stuff. In the old days, we'd have guns. We still got guns when it comes to ATM security guards, armed guards. I might be doing a course in that eventually. I'd like to be an armed guard because you know what? When I was in East Pakistan and that, the armed guards would protect us foreigners. I saw people get robbed, local people, poor buggers. They draw out whatever, hundreds of dollars, and they go and get robbed. And they're poor enough. They try to make that money last for a month. That's a whole month's wages or something, But when the foreigner would go in the ATM machine, they had their machine guns and all ready to protect. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like armed security guards. You don't want to mess with him. The guy, yesterday I was at the shopping center. The armed guard had his hand on his gun as I walked past because I had a bag full of shit, all stuff piled up with food and stuff. He's looking right at me, and I'm looking at him. I'm just looking at him thinking, I wouldn't mind being a security guard because I was having eye contact with him. He had his hand on a gun, just waiting because there are thousands of dollars coming out of the ATM machine. He's ready to shoot and kill. No, ask no questions. Imagine the noise in the shopping center. The echo of that gun would go off. The whole friggin' everybody in that shopping center would come and see a dead body lying on the ground, covered in a pile of blood. See? I'm against all that robbing banks and all that sort of thing. I think that's a terrible crime. And then they come out of prison and they go and rob it again. Then they hide the money, and they can't give the they don't give the money back, and they come out of jail. Well, how long? 10 years, whatever. And then they go and get their money that they've been hidden. There's going to come a time there's a cashless society, and all the money will be worth nothing, and it loses its value keeping it in your house. I don't do that. That's why I got scammed. The bloody bank, not the bank, but the scammers got in. And I lock my card every friggin' day now. You unlock it every time you go and buy something. But if you set up an internet, that'll come out automatically locked or not. I'm sick and tired of scammers. They're everywhere. There's even really nice scammers. The scammers will take their freaking clothes off that you give them money, tempt you. But they may be starving. I didn't ask for it. I used to have a couple of subscribers come on my channel, a woman, and made friends through email or something. Next thing is going to send a bloody video. Oh, please, I need food money. Oh, look at that naked woman. Friggin' hell. Some of them look very beautiful too. And I think, well, better than some of the bloody tattooed bloody woman here that look like men. You gotta be aware that there are people out there that'll do anything for money. Anything. I'll tell you the worst sin I've ever committed. I hired a hitman once because I hated that bishop. He ruined my family, broke my marriage up. And the way I'm acting now, it's like I had fasted 48 hours. I was taken advantage. I was crushed like an insect. My tongue was bound. I was no protection. I knew nothing about Jesus, really, the blood of Jesus. I knew about the Mormon God and the prophets and everything. But I walked out there, and when I hired this hitman, he got crippled. He got crippled by the Danites, which are the Jesuits, like Jesuits in the Catholic Church. I would be in jail today. There was one time that I was indirectly $10,000 it would have cost me. He got crippled. So there are people in churches that will kill in the name of God and prophets. What a stupid thing to do, but I was pretty messed up, I can tell you. I was suicidal, I ended up hanging by a rope, everything. So ended up in hospital, pumped with drugs for 4 years, locked me up, everything. So that's how angry I got. I don't do that now, so don't worry. See, God stopped it. I went to prison, and when I was in America, I was innocent. I was framed. That was enough. That was enough. I learned a little bit. I wasn't there long, but 2 men in black got me out. 2 aliens or Illuminati, when I say Illuminati, they're all connected with religion. Okay, the secret handshake and all that sort of thing. They got me out. Cops couldn't understand how they got me out. I was out. But I made friends with the prisoners, I'll tell you. They called me Crocodile Kirky. I don't know. I know people go to jail over anything. You can piss on a tree over there and you get arrested. Treated like a criminal too. Here, if you piss on a tree, the cops are likely to laugh and say, don't do it again. Public exposure. But in the prisons here, I don't know about now, but back then you couldn't show emotion and you get bashed up. They don't want girly boys in prison, do they? They get raped and everything, terrible. But then again, the cops were very emotional, and when I talked about religion and everything, they were real nice to me. They were very interested because they were all religious. Even you could look. I got knocked back from the police force here because I was religious. I passed all the tests, and they bloody knocked me back. The bloody sergeant was friends with my dad. He said, "Oh, your son's too religious. We don't want to let him in the police force." I lost a career out of that bloody arsehole, bloody atheist bastard that wouldn't allow me to be in the police force. I passed and everything every other way. And I was in the, you could say, reserves, army. I wanted to fight. I wanted to go to war and everything. Oh no, you got pimples on your shoulder. You can't carry those guns with all that bloody acne and pimples on your friggin' shoulder. I was knocked back because of pimples. In America, they'll take the friggin' bikies that got out of jail and put them in the front line of the Vietnam War. A suicide mission. They take anyone over there. But here, no. You don't qualify. You got pimples. There's people leaving me messages, so it must be evening. It's not morning, is it? Oh no, the sun's come up. Oh shit. I didn't know what time it was. I mean, I knew the time, but I didn't know if it was evening or day. The sun's come up, so that means, yeah, it was dark a minute ago. So I've actually been up. Some comments, all right? I've got to get my sugar levels right. It's coming good. So this is what happened when I try and be a friggin' monk. Live all those stupid rules. Doesn't work for very long anyway. So you could be a Buddhist and you step out and you're going to have a beer. The Buddhists aren't going to attack you. They're going to say, oh, you're a filthy, rotten sinner. Muslims don't drink and they get bashed, because I used to go and get the big Heineken beers from the Bay of Bengal, the sea, and bring them into the foreign bars. You know, only one day a week you could have a drink. And some some of these Muslims would drink, you know. And I had this Muslim guy carry all the Heinekens, a lot of them, and he got caught on his rickshaw by just street Muslims. They weren't even they saw the alcohol and they bashed him. They didn't bash me, but they bashed him. I felt sorry for the bugger because he got a bit of a tip, you know, because he helped me out with get all the Heineken beers. But I don't drink except emergency or medical. See, I don't know. I don't like alcohol, and I can understand it's not a spiritual thing, alcohol. And I don't smoke marijuana. I'm against it. It fries my brain. It makes me paranoid. But I can have a cookie and I can have the oil prescribed by the doctor here, or when you go overseas like Thailand, it's legal. You can smoke it, or you can eat it, or you can whatever. Sit on the beach. It's all legal over there. Now I've got my eyesight back now. I try and read some comments. So it must be a different time over there. Truth freaking eyes. Bless you, sir, says Truth Seeker. May Allah make it easy for you. Yeah, thanks, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, well, there's not bullets flying around. I don't know about where you're in East Pakistan, I think. So you got to live by your wits. I don't know if you're a soldier or whatever, but here we've got no excuse. It's a great country, really, in a lot of ways. The government does take care of the poor. Steal from the rich and give to the poor. And the rich don't like that. We've got a bit of a Robin Hood thing going on here. The government does more than the churches, brother. Yeah, but they're not God, but you know what I mean. You pray for them regardless. Thanks, brother. Alternative Top says, yeah, for sure, coffee is better. Thanks. I'm going to read all the comments, okay? Just be patient. I had to get my eyesight back. I was going blurred vision. And I wasn't even eating. See, I get a diabetic attack for not eating. But I'm doing this all deliberately so the whole world can see what I go through. So you may think Kirky's worse, or you might appreciate some things, blessings in your life, blessings that I don't even have. But yeah, Allah will look after you. He's still God, isn't he? Right. So, and the Mormons believe that Allah or Allahum is separate to Jesus. But the born again Christians, Jesus is God. You see me, you see the Father. They both look the same. Didn't Jesus say, "Glorify me, Father, glorify me so I can glorify you"? He was talking to someone. On the cross, he was talking to someone. Was he talking to himself? 3 in 1? I mean, the Mormons don't quite believe in Trinity at all because God is Allah, Jesus is the Christ, and then they've got the Holy Spirit when they say even he's got to get a body. But it's not 3 in 1, it's 3 in purpose. It's not schizophrenic.
But now the Book of Sinai, the original first century Bible, says God doesn't have any partner. There you go. That's what the book says. So which book are you going to follow? You're going to follow the modern day translations, all corrupt and messed up and all that crap? You're going to go by the early century Bible. And one Muslim told me it's probably in the British Museum worth billions of dollars. Book of Sinai. The scenes, they wrote everything down, but they were slaughtered and killed for it by the Romans and associated with Catholicism and I think Constantine's, was it Constantine's time? Or that came later? That came later, yeah. But the Essenes, where Jesus personally taught things, he didn't talk about, what did he say? He didn't talk about Trinity. He didn't say anything. He said we're all, I don't know, we're all one or something. We're all in the oneness of consciousness, and that separation consciousness and what's the word? Sin consciousness only flares up the ego, that we're nothing, we're just dirt. Well, we are in some respect. But it'd be nice to know that there is a God. He's our father, he's our daddy, right? It'd be nice to know that. A person, yeah, but we'll never be God, not like that. That would be blasphemy. Even the Muslims believe that. God is God. You don't think that you're better than God, or as you got, we're still children of God. Even the Muslims are children of God. They're not children of the devil. Children of the devil. Jesus only said it. He said it to the Pharisees that killed him. They're going to kill him. He was, but they were still children of God. But and they said, "Oh, we're from the bloodline of Abraham. We're children of God." No, you're not. Your vipers, piss off. It was an expression. See, Jesus doesn't hate anyone either. He said, you hate this, hate that. The Bible got the word hate in it. It doesn't really mean hate. It means despise. It's just a word. And you say the Bible doesn't need translation or doesn't need, don't add to it, don't subtract to it. You can take the friggin' word hate out of it for a start. Hate woman well, that's Old Testament, but what is it? Woman who had sex with a holy man, interbred or something, and they were killed for that. But or they weren't killed in a particular incident, and they were taken back to the camp, and God commanded polygamy. If you can't kill them, make them slaves. God changed his mind. Does God change his mind like that? I don't know. Joseph Grace, sorry for the retardation. It's okay, Joseph. I was having a diabetic attack. I have to pick on somebody, I suppose. But then again, I come up against some pretty heavy sort of people, and I was on a bus yesterday. I practically got thrown off because I had food, and I got a doctor's letter. I could eat on a bus, and this big bikey guy tried to have a go at me. You're not coming to eat on my bus, medical certificate or not. Real smart ass. He thought he owned the bus, and I'm not going to clean this bus. Man, this Aussies, Australian thing is, I've never had any problem with any other culture when it comes to people working in this country. They don't want to lose their friggin' jobs, man. Okay. Though there was an African bus driver, this person got on the bus, even another African. He was another African. It wasn't even a white dude. And the African didn't have enough money to pay for the fare. And that was on a Sunday, which buses only run very slow on the Sunday. And I never had any loose change on me, and not one person pulled out $1 or anything to give this poor African guy to pay the bus driver. So he had to get off, and he was with his wife or somebody. Yeah, what? And he had to get off and wait another. He had to go. He didn't have the money to get on a bus. He ran out, and nobody pulled out $1. I didn't have any coins on me that day. I wasn't going to hand a $20 note over. So the African bus driver wouldn't even pay for his ticket because it's another African. See, it's like, I don't know. But that sort of thing. But not fighting, carrying on, not all this aggression, like ready to fight you because you brought food on the bus. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, the time. Yeah, thanks, Joseph. My eyes weren't very good tonight. Giving me a bit of a migraine, actually, trying to read. We pray constantly with little doist prayers, but yes, 5 times minimum. Yeah, and I think you can pray anytime. You can pray 5 times any time of the day, or is it a set time? Because if you're in the Western world, brother, and you've got a job to do, you lose your job. You have to bend the rules. So I don't know. I never asked that question. I think you can just pray 5 times a day, but not during a friggin' robbery when you're a security guard. Yeah, right. Did you get affected by the hurricane? No, that's on the eastern states where everybody used to once want to live. The paradise. No, it's crap. We're in the isolation 2,000 miles to the nearest city. We're like kind of a mix between Vancouver, San Diego, and what's another one? Miami. Vancouver, Miami, and San Diego with a beautiful river running through the city. It's like that, but warm. It's not cold like Vancouver. It's a beautiful city, but we're isolated. But we've got progress. We've got a Hollywood movie studios here now, which I'm thinking about going in and doing some acting. I've done it before, get paid. Anyone that could ride horses and motorbikes, you get into some of these, what do you call it, Australian settler movies. You know, the old times, the old days, the old cowboy days. Love all that sort of thing. Last movie I was in, it's only a short role. I was one of the bloody pompish bloody Australian British go out shooting bloody the natives. It's just like they gave me the role of a baddie. I want to, I don't mind being a baddie, but I like to have a nice being a role of a goodie too. That's funny. Sorry. Here we go. Alternative top 10 says people are afraid of truth. They want to live in an illusion. Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard to let go of ego. It wants what it wants. It doesn't care about heaven or paradise or anything, but it will freak because it's not right with God. It's not even right with Allah. And it would rather live in an illusion and hold on to this life. But happiness that comes to an end was never really happiness. But joy is beyond it. It's in the spirit level. It's on the level where there's not ego. It's unconditional love. And you're too busy loving, you don't have time to judge. Even I don't stay there long. You can see I'm in and out. It's just the pain. It's the pain that drives me crazy, batshit. So I know what pain is. Crystal, I found a quote you may like. Thank you, Crystal. What's this? I hope to refine music, study it. Yep. I try to find some area that I can unlock. I don't quite know how to explain it, but it's there. These can't be the only notes in the world. There's got to be other note. Yeah. Now that's getting metaphysical. Like there's other colors that we don't know about. I've had dreams. I've actually saw colors that my brain explodes trying to when I wake up from the dream. What color was that, man? It blinded me. It blew my brains. And there's notes and there's music that we don't know about yet. If that's what you're talking about. Oh yeah. I've been in dreams where I've been singing opera in front of thousands of people and with like heavenly choirs and angels and everything. I mean, I'm singing this sort of angelic opera. Every word, and it's in a different language. A bit like what's his name? Oh, it's that guy, that famous opera singer. Oh, I've forgotten his name. Giovanni? Somebody. Yeah. we will take these talents with us. These are what we're going to be doing in the paradise, or heaven or whatever. All our talents will continue on hereafter. That's why you shouldn't hide it. The man who hid his 10 talents ended up with nothing, and the one who had 1 talent was given 10. So, all my eyes are hurting. So with the whole day yesterday, I didn't eat. I was just too busy playing that piano, that beautiful Japanese German piano. I've never played a piano like that before. They're now Japanese are now making pianos with German components. It's beat Yamaha, I think. Yeah, it's beaten Yamaha. I was a Yamaha fan, but now I'm a bloody Kawai. This is a piano called a Kawai 600. It's equivalent to the 800, which is the Rolls Royce. The same piano basically, except more nicer cabinet with the 800 or something. But the Kawai 600 is actually higher than the K800. But most people can't get hold of a 6 because it's a lot cheaper. They must have all been sold out, but I found one yesterday, and there's another one at the factory that I'm gonna order it because it's on big discount, and it's going up $4,000 at the end of the month. So I've got to grab this beast, and it's a beast. I mean, you can play heavy like Beethoven on it. Where the Yammies, it's more light touch, and I used to love all that Mozart and stuff. But anyway, I don't have to pay interest. I just pay it off. I'll work it out. But I need a new piano. I'm sick and tired of secondhand used pianos. They crack, the strings start to go wonky and everything. Even though it was the best pianos in the 80s, the one I've got here now, it's going wonky, the bass anyway. And the Kawai 600 or even the Kawai 500, the 2 best pianos I think ever made. There is pure German pianos, but they don't have the power punch. They've got very intimate, stable type of harmonies. It's nice, but I like the power punch. And a piano it's a workhorse. There is the K300. That doesn't sound as good as the others. It's just more, yeah, I compared that with Yamaha years ago, and I didn't like it. I prefer Yamaha. But now the K500 and the K6, and there's a 7 as well, very similar. I think it's cabinet thing, a few changes, the K800. I've just found that's the best piano for me. All right. Yeah, there are other pianos, but I'm going for the power punch. All right. It's a bit of a heavier touch, but I'm ready for that. When I was younger, it had to be all light, airy fairy touch. No. I'm getting more Beethoven as I get older. I was very Mozart. I love Mozart, but I'm going more Beethoven now. Not in the music itself. It's just the character of the man. Because this is how I get my aggression out of me. And I played pretty powerfully today, and the bloody guy kicked me out of the shop. Bloody girly boy that was there. He couldn't stand Beethoven, or that type of aggression. He wanted airy fairy Mozart. He didn't like it. He thought the bombs were going to drop. He thought I was doing that stuff that was like sirens going off for the war. It's like full on heavy. Anyway, but I can play the most softest, beautiful music too. So I was in the mood for Plus, I hadn't eaten, and I was spacing out, and I was lost in a trance. I was there 4 hours. He kicked me out, man. I'm not going to buy a piano from him. He would have lost the deal, man. What if I had all the cash in my bag? I said, oh, okay, I love this piano. Yeah, here's the money. No, what a stupid salesman he is. No, he did say something, I suppose, fair enough. He said, the piano's going to go out of tune, you're bashing it. These pianos are made to thrash. Strong. Anyway, some place, says Crystal, in some dimension between the cracks on the piano keys, Marvel K. Yeah, right. That's some dimension, yeah, between the cracks on the piano keys. Yeah, I understand. It's hard to explain it. It's like opening a door, go through into another dimension. Music speaks many languages. Thanks for that comment. Alternative Top 10 says, yeah, we are Muslims, love Jesus, yeah, and believe he was a prophet of Allah, just like Muhammad, yep, who is the last prophet. Yeah, I know. I've answered that in a lot of videos. I understand what's happening here. There's paradise, right? There's actually 3 kingdoms of paradise, and Muhammad would be like the head of, well, you could say at the highest level. See, there is these 3 levels or 3 heavens, whatever, and they're heavens, actually heavens. So, but it's paradise, and you go where you're most comfortable. But anyway, we don't know. We all think we know, but we don't know until we get there. Do you have to be a Christian to go to Christian heaven or Christian paradise? I mean, what paradise are we talking about? It's not hell. Not like that. I mean, it might be hell to a Christian because he's not with Jesus. It'd be hell for a Muslim not to be with Muhammad. See? So, but they believe they're going home too, like a child going home to father. So they're not going home to Satan, right? Cooking up a barbecue and burning all the bloody Christians, and you're ruling with Satan in hell. I mean, there's no rank in hell. It's bullshit. And I've mentioned this many times. Anton, the head warlock, was in with Walt Disney and Ron Hubbard from Scientology, and what's his name, Russell from the bloody Jehovah's Witness, who started up the church. Anton died, well, he's dying, and he stepped out of his body and he saw his soul, right? He was a spirit looking at his soul, which was a 7-foot demon consumed him, and he thought it was him. And that 7-foot demon had actually whispered to him and took over his body and said, "You're going to have ranks in hell. He used to drink babies' blood, murder little infants, everything." I mean, this guy was sick, man, really sick, into shit, into poo, and into blood, real dark. And he and you know what he said as he was dying? "This is wrong. This is wrong." He realized that he was never going to see Father or be with God. He realized he was a child of God. The spirit nature level separated. Father has left the building, let alone Elvis. He knew that spirit was not that person that he'd been all his life making. What do you call it? Oh, what's the word? Making contracts with the devil. Because the person that was standing there wasn't him. He'd been separated like an egg from a yolk. He had nothing. He was a shriveling little worm, in a sense, and his spirit was dragged down to hell because of that filthy, rotten soul that made pledges with the devil, right? So you don't make pledges with the dark and the Satan. So as I said, I'd rather be a Muslim than be a bloody Satanist. Okay, that's it. And of course, being a Muslim is not bad. It's just there's different types of Muslims. I don't believe a Muslim. I mean, what's the word? I don't condone. What's that word? Support. I do not support a Muslim that would kill his own mother because they found a statue of Mary. That would be batshit crazy. That there's a bloody statue of Mary or something in his mother's house. But I wouldn't kill my own mother for it. But that's the type of extreme. That's getting like a psychopath. No. And then take the kid and train him as a suicide bomber. No, that's the extreme of Muslim. Okay, I'm talking genuine good Muslims. All right, nothing wrong with that. But like all religions in the world, where they've had to go through wars and battles and defend and want the immorality, they don't want some bloody poo pusher or some bloody filthy exhibitionist homosexual coming in and sodomizing their bloody woman and everything. You know what I mean? I mean, you're going to stand back and let that happen? See what I mean? They're not weak. Put it that way. They're brave hearts. They're warriors, right? So even Muhammad had to protect his own daughter. They were attacking his own daughter. I think there's a history of what happened there. He tried to protect his own friggin' daughter. Yeah, you got to protect your family, man. That's one thing you're supposed to do. But love your mother regardless if she's a batshit crazy Viking like my mother, bloody Viking. My own kids, my own kids, that will not even let her grandkids come and visit because she's a Viking. She's got this bossy boot thing nature. It's the old school, and they want their kids all girly boy. They want their kids all nice and don't want to mess with Vikings and all that sort of. What's happening to this world, man? Are we going backwards or forward? Come on, you don't cut your grandkids off because your mother's old school, an old bossy boot. Let the old people have their ways. A lot of the cultures, they get the decisions made by the grandmother or they respect her. They don't care if she's a witch doctor or a bloody got out of jail, bloody a criminal. The matriarch, they call them, if there's any such word. The matriarch makes decisions, and she's like the leader of the family. But in our culture, mate, old granny, piss off. I'm going to take my kids. You're not going to see your grandkids because you're an old, ugly old granny. You see what I mean? Oh, my kids won't like it that I said that. I think, well, it's not my reality, Dad. Yeah, if my son's ever watching this, I can't get that out of my head. You said, it's not my reality, Dad. I just don't believe in all this, what do you call it? He's proactive. Everything has to be all sweet, pure, and positive. And if it's not, piss off, like, don't want nothing to do with you. Come on, you got to work with the negatives. What type of freak show is this? You don't turn your back on people because they're damaged or something not right in their head. I mean, unless they're literally trying to convert you to something that's evil or bad or weak or sick. Oh, there's no such thing as evil, Dad. It's not no such thing as evil. Yeah, it's just people mad in the head. They need hospital drugs. Yeah, right. Bullshit. It's people that have no love and compassion for the people that are not well. Is making the world worse. You could help people even mentally by not cutting off from them. Okay, I can understand you might get angry and I don't want to mess with your dad if you're going to carry on like this or whatever, but you don't cut off a life. What sort of pride is that? That's self-righteousness, my son. Because I've been 2 friggin' years, I haven't heard from you. It's disgusting. Disgusting. I sent all those birthday cards when your mother and I broke up, got thrown in the bin by the old girl, my mother-in-law. You never even got a birthday card or a Christmas card. And then you thought that I didn't care? The whole of your mother's side of the family? It's hard for kids, I understand. They just don't understand that shit happens in a way that I couldn't even contact my son. Just all the family blocked me, This is this is when he was 10 years of age. I didn't see him till he was a certain age. I don't know what age it was. But I missed out all those years. Terrible. You don't do that to your father. I mean, I'm not a criminal. I'm not going around shooting and killing people. Just because I got a bit of head damage, am I not good enough to be your father? Disgusting. Do-gooders. Anyway, Joseph says, what do you want to do before you die? Aha. Pavarotti! Yes, Joseph, you said, I'll answer your question shortly. Greetings from Poland. Poland! Oh, welcome. I can see a bloody penguin. I'm looking at a penguin here? A photo? Greetings from Poland, eh? Oh, who's the famous composer in Poland? I know Liszt is Hungary. Oh, let's get back. I like that question Joseph asked me. What do you want to do? I'll go back, scroll back and check all the comments, okay? Let me have a sip of coffee, a roll of smoke. Now we're getting questions. I love questions. What do you want to do before you die? I like that question. We're supposed to be overcomers. There are some things in the Bible that it is wisdom, and there are wisdoms and we should follow, but not all that bloodshed, judgmental stuff. What do you want to do before you die? I want to answer this question. I think what Crystal was saying about those mysterious notes that we don't know about, or the mysterious colours, it's just representing a door that we go through. I would love to recall who I am, the grandest, best version of myself, but able to maintain it. Like, this is what pianos do. Certain pianos are built in a certain way to capture and maintain the real essence of what you're trying to express. I would love to get my act together, get my shit together, I would love just to stand all amazed in such a way that my spirit would pierce every person I come in contact with, especially if I'm on a platform of preaching or music, and be so distilled in a way of, but rejoicing as well. That's just a type of character dream that I have too, that people would look at you and know that I've been through that door and I've come out with all this wisdom without just raving on like I normally do. Though I have moments where I do experience that, everything goes still and peaceful, but that's that. All right, but in a way of accomplishment, other things. My dream is to have a pool so I can go skinny dipping, which means rip me freaking clothes off and go swimming at 3 o'clock in the morning for one, in my own property. Don't have enough land. I would love to have a pool, but I could do it in the Philippines. I have got land over there. It's not in my name. There's just things I like to do like that. That's a good question. You got me thinking, Joseph. Shit. Now you got me thinking. I might. Otherwise, I'm thinking. So I have to just maintain that. There's probably a few things I like to do. I've done a lot of traveling. I love the jungle trekking, all that sort of thing. But don't want to jump out of a plane, go skydiving for a cheap thrill. Plus, it's very expensive. I'm not interested in all that sort of thing. Bungee jumping and all that. That's all the adventure side of it. To me, it's all transformation. I would love to do what Jesus said we'll do more than him. I would love to be able to faith heal. I've actually done that a couple of times, even though I hardly help myself. It's funny how that works. I've actually used my faith when I was in a hospital. I was in hospital myself, pumped with drugs, and those drugs would stop anything spiritual from coming through. It turns into irrational earthly logic, because that's when they pumped me with drugs, when I had a breakdown from religion. But I could still see the white light, or the blue light. Actually, it was the blue light and the white all around it, the stillness. And I gave this woman a blessing, who had dying of cancer, and she went into remission. She was released in a matter of a week, and all her family, doctors, everybody come and couldn't believe that she'd been cured. It was impossible, absolutely impossible. And I was a Mormon. So I would love to be a faith healer, a real faith, not the one Jesus says, I know you're not. I would love to be able to use the alchemy, understand it, not just faith, but actually understand how magi works. Because a lot of these Christians are scared. They think it's all bloody pagan or bullshit witchcraft. The whole Kundalini thing, yoga. You can't even practice yoga in some of these churches. Like the Baptists told me, you're a pagan witch if you practice yoga. Bullshit. I got spinal injury and severe accidents and been over a cliff and broke bones in my body and everything. Yoga helps, stretching and all that. They're just crazy, these Christians. I would love to be able to operate the Magi in Christ, as the Essenes teach, as long as it's in Christ, or at least Allah, you could say Allah too, anything to do with the biblical Hebrew God. Then you bring that into the alchemy of it all. You even bring that into Hinduism or Buddhism, focused on, the creator of our spirit. Because a lot of the people that are into all this deep stuff, philosophy stuff, they don't know who created them. Even the aliens don't even know. You ask them where do they come from, they don't know. Well, Satan knows, if there's such thing, yes. Look, I like to be able to operate all my gifts all at the same time, and then people ask, how come? What led you to this? How did you get this gift? Then I would say, go and watch 1,000 videos I've made, or how many thousand, and see the madness, insanity of what I went through, crazy or batshit, and how I come out of the other end of the tunnel towards the light. Because I'm aiming for something, and my music is my alchemy in the way of communication, because things I can actually hear in an Adamic language, or the language of God or angels. But I can't put it into English. They're speaking to me. And when you're there, it's more real than here. It's like, I can't explain it. It makes this earthly life that we're having in the reality, so-called simulator reality, prison planet type of reality, makes us look like a joke compared to who we really are. See, everything about me is pretty metaphysical. I'm not into stuff and all that. Just a piano, a good car, and a pool, and money to help people. So anyway, I'm doing the best I can. Probably a few other things. Let's go backwards. I'll scroll this thing up. I read that one. Thank you. Alternative top. Yeah, I read that one. Most people are afraid of truth. They want to live in an illusion. See, I don't want to justify any illusion that's got no spiritual roots. There are people who live in illusion. They've got no belief, they've got no faith, they've got nothing. Man-made philosophies for sure then. Nothing wrong with having spiritual truths that would make you indifferent, but not ingenuine. You're genuine, but you're different. Peculiar people. The Bible does say that. We are peculiar people, but no stranger, but fellow citizens among each other. Fellow citizens and saints, whatever they call it. I would love to be able to communicate with all walks of life who are spiritual, who can resonate with the frequency of love. That's it. And if you don't have love in your heart, that would probably be the enemy. If you've got love, I don't care what religion. If you've got love in you, love your neighbor. Thank you. May Allah give you peace of heart. Thank you, Alternative Top. Coffee, Truth Seeker says coffee has health benefits like decreased risk of certain cancers. Coca-Cola had no health benefits we know of. And all that poison, artificial sugars is as bad as real sugar. A real sugar is okay if you're not diabetic, but the poison alternative, the poison of artificial sugars, unless it's stevia or some natural sugar, but even then, it's more sweeter than real sugar. It can still raise blood sugars for diabetic. Yeah, good point. Alternative Top says, yeah, for sure, coffee is better. Yep. Bless you, Kirky, says Truth Seeker. Thank you. What's this say? Truth Seeker saying, oh, I'm having trouble with my body. Everything's going out. Truth Seeker says, top 10, if evil had no source and came to us forth all directions, the world would be in huge trouble. Ha 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 ha. Interesting. Yeah. They reckon the human mind's has got enough force in it, like a nuclear bomb. If you had enough, use your brain fully, you could actually blow up a city with you. They reckon all sorts of things, which means all that dark all that madness, insanity is in us, Um, and but we don't. But if there's no Satan and there's no devil and all sort of thing, eventually mankind blow himself up. Even the aliens are trying to intervene and say, don't blow the planet up because we live here too, but we come through portals or space and time. We have to put the blame on somebody, I suppose. There's billions of demons that are stirring all this shit up. But we could say we're doing it completely and then deny evil in a sense and just say, well, the time has come to blow everybody up. And no God, no Satan, no nothing, I'm more likely to believe that there's a God, but I do believe a lot of stuff comes from within us that is dark, and it's not always a demon, it's just human nature. But there, good point. Oh, it's gone out again. I can't even enjoy one bloody smoke tonight. It keeps going out. Alternative says, that's why God created the devil. Okay, knowing he would be evil, God gave us a huge chance to fight back by identifying an enemy who is the source of evil. Yeah. But can I tell you something, viewers? The Gnostics, which came after the Essenes, long after, in their lost books and their writings and their texts, they say that Satan heaven could never corrupt itself. Satan being a liar from the beginning, how could even a lie enter heaven? He was never in heaven. And the first woman archangel named Sophia, though there's no sexual thing going on, she was in the void, and other archangels that were male. She loved Jesus from a distance because Jesus' light's supposed to shine the most. She was in love with Jesus, sort of thing. But anyway, somehow she got herself pregnant without sex and without anyone. And old Satan was born as an abomination, ugly looking beast, and he come to earth. Was never in heaven, and he dragged the angels down and got them to have sex with women and everything. Even changed the bodily parts and everything. And of course, in the Garden of Eden, Satan seduced Eve and had sex with them, brought lust into the world, deceived her by emotion, wickedly deceptive heart. They say that's where that come from. Something the heart cannot be trusted. There was more than just a fruit. It probably was just a sexual thing that went on. It was pride. Pride leads to sex and murder. Oh, it still went out. I had a real problem. Okay. We as Christians, we need to believe there's a devil and demons. So yeah, even the Muslims believe that. Truth Seeker says, we have free will to do whatever we like as our test in life, but the devil leads us to do wrong. We all will have to answer for actions. Very good. When you get part of religion that tells you can't have a coffee, you got to pay tithing, otherwise all that morale and everything you miss out. You can't get to heaven unless you pay tithing, that type of demand. That's not free will. You don't have free will then, do you? But you have free choice. You can leave. Piss off. Not getting my money. I was going to the poor. I got a mate named Adam Boyle. He was high up in the ranks, and they kicked him out of his calling because he started up a homeless organisation or something. Started helping the poor. He wouldn't give it to the church, the mega rich church. And that guy who was the head of the church was his best mate. He grew up, and also his neighbour. And he went by the manual. Says, "I'm sorry, but Adam, you can't be in the calling in this church if you give your money to the poor." Isn't that? That's just not right, man. He can give money to the poor, surely. Isn't that the test? Give it to the church and let people starve. What does the Bible say about tithing? Paid at the end of the year, after you've helped everybody, your family, neighbour, relatives, organ transplant for your kid or something, then pay 10% at the end of the year. I mean, I know people that have left those sort of churches because they give their money and the kids hate God, hate their parents. They're starving until those poor people in the third world countries get their next food. Oh, you'll be blessed. Give it to the church first. Just Jesus doesn't need your money, or God doesn't need your money. It's faith, yes, but when you can, and when you can't, you can't. And if you're giving money to the church and be told that it's none of your frigging business where that money's being spent or not being spent, because most churches declare where the money's going, and saving it for a rainy day and not helping the poor, yet build all these temples so people can become gods or be married and all this sort of thing for time and eternity. Oh my goodness. That sounds like very cultish to me. And my brother, Pharisee brother, I used to live with, he says, oh, you'll never change. You're always going to have a pick on this, aren't you? I said, I don't believe in blind faith, not even in marriage. I would rather marry a non-virgin than a friggin' virgin. I mean, I was I was a halfway job virgin. I mean, I've been raped by that guy halfway. I was pretty much a virgin when I got married. I think pretty much, give or take, halfway job. She was a virgin. We didn't know each other. We thought we did. We were in the spirit, like religiously, and then the baby died, and then she demanded to have another child because she was so angry with God. I don't blame her, but the thing is, I was very girly boy then. I was very feminine, and she wanted a beast. And then she didn't know what hit her when I did become a beast, because she gave me 12 months to get her pregnant. Otherwise, she divorced me, and she did to the very day, pretty much. That's crazy, isn't it? And I had to work like a beast to try and get her pregnant. She didn't get pregnant. And the very night I was separated, but yet I slept with her that night, and I had a dream that we were both mummies, like in tombs, like what do you call it, wrapped up in the Egyptian tomb thing, and it fell out of it rolled out of a plane. It was taken the what do you call it, artifacts to the museum, and we were the artifact, and it fell out of the plane, and it was falling to the earth, and she was one of them and I was another, and it hit the ground and didn't feel any pain or anything, and I blew into dust. Or she blew into dust, absolute dust. And somehow I sort of was dusted, but then I got up and I realized she was all dust. It's gone. It's like a mummy. And as soon as I woke up in that dream, she turned around at the very moment after I woke up from that dream, and she says, I'm going to divorce you. It was so sad because she never got pregnant and I wasn't, and yet I was a beast. I did everything I could, but then I became a beast. I mean, like literally, I'll give you an example. I'm in a strange mood tonight, but I'll tell you, I was sitting on the bed. I wasn't in the mood. And she wanted to have a child, and I was in the mood. And because the more beastie you are, the more chance of spilling the seed to get a child. But then again, it should be out of love and intimacy. Like the Gnostics, they wouldn't do any type of beastie sex. And I just turned around and I said, I'm not in the mood. I wasn't in the mood, and I saw a demon on my bed, a hairy-tongued demon, and the demon spoke to me. I could see it, but she couldn't. And the hairy-ass demon said, let me in you, let me come inside of you, and I'll give you the best sex ever. And of course, she didn't get pregnant, but anyway. And this thing went into me, and I was almost levitating. I mean, I was like a frog, kind of leaping. And she was too. It was like we had this very fast, rapid energy, like something was not right. It was like we're trapped in some type of, how they, I can't explain it. It was a vibration moving very quickly, and it was like we were trapped in some time warp, and we went for it. Well, I did, and it just it freaked her out. It actually freaked her out, and the demon was trying to tell me, get her to oink like a pig. Oink, 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 oink. And she did. And she was regretted that. But the thing is, the beast took over. This stuff got in you. I'm telling you the world this. It only happened that once, but I practically never got forgiven for that. And it slipped up the wrong hole for a start. That really pissed her off. It wasn't even deliberate. So, oh no, he's an anal beast now. Oh yeah. Because when you've been raped and have that sort of thing happen, Sodom thing, I don't seek it with a guy, but woman, no problem. But the thing is, well, married preferably, but you can't get pregnant. So anyway, you don't want, but anyway, she didn't get pregnant. We did it all for some time, and she never got pregnant. And I remember how low I went. I didn't know Jesus. All I knew that this level of the beast, which can be romantic if it's treated well, but you got to make an agreement not to stay there, go back to the light, but no letting demons in. No, look, if you see a demon on the friggin' end of the bed, you don't let him in, but I did. And all this, I transfigured, what do you call it? I started to vibrate. It was like a zombie, spin your head and everything. Like I was going under some type of possession. And it even affected her. She probably won't remember this. It's satanic, all right? It's not holy. When you start messing with the supernatural on those levels, it's very dangerous. All right? I can understand a bit of wild passion coming home and let's get our rocks off and have some wild sex. I understand that. That's fine. But I was letting in a demon and I knew it. I let that friggin' hairy ass, hairy tongue, low intelligent demon into my body, and almost my head was spinning 360 degrees. It was just, yeah. But some woman would love that. Oh yeah, what are you smoking, cocaine or something? It was like I was drugged out of my brain. No, I hadn't even touched the drug because there's no tea, coffee, smoke, and drink. So that's pretty scary. Well, it was supernatural because normally people would have to be stoned off their friggin' head on some type of plant, a lot stronger than anything that you can just get normally, like a zombie drug, a zombie bloody plant, and turn you into a friggin' zombie. Yeah, and then have some wild passionate sex. It goes on. It goes on these Illuminati clubs and things. They take this sort of special drugs, and next thing your head's spinning, man. You just become a beast. You think you might be an animal or something, having sex with another animal. That's just how bad it is. But it's a human. Well, I never saw any of that go on, but that would probably go on as well. Who knows where it ends? See? Anyway, I'm talking about this stuff. It's just a warning how far, how low you can get, all right? But nothing criminal, nothing illegal. So you don't get arrested for these things. You just don't mess with younger or kids or anything like that. Nothing like that. This is with your own wife in your own time. But I did not know Jesus. And I think, okay, if people are born into all these different religions, Muslim, Hindu, they've got their rules, they've got their laws. I think it's a better choice than have nothing in your life, nothing spiritual, nothing uplifting, nothing moral, nothing clean, and all you want to do is just be a beast for the rest of your life. Like that bus driver, I had a doctor's letter I could eat on the bus. He was ready to fight me. He was just getting up to ready to punch me. He knew he'd lose his job and everything, but he couldn't control himself. A bloody beast he was. I got medical reasons to eat on the bus, but there are just people that are beasts. They literally walk and talk, and that's the dead are conscious of nothing. That's where that part of you is dead on impact. You're just living for carnal flesh, all right? So let's get over that. I've been there, done it, so I know what I'm talking about. It's very negative. Let's move on. Let's get more positive now, all right? I hope that helps a few people out there that are just hit the rock bottom batshit thing going on, especially in a marriage relationship or something that could happen, and you want to sort it out and move on, Anyway, Truth Seeker says that is because there are priests and monks among them, and because they are not arrogant. The Surah Maida 585.82. Is that something out of the Quran? Yeah, that is because there are priests and monks among them, and because they are not arrogant. Amen. Okay, that's good. Yeah. The ones who are not arrogant. Truth Seeker says you will surely find the more bitter towards the believers to be the Jews and polytheist. Yeah, that's polythesis is the one to believe in many gods. I think that's what it means. Or polygamy, lots of polygamy too. But then Allah is not a polygamist. Though Muslims are promised polygamy, Mormons believe in a polygamous God, and they can become polygamists as well. Many queens in heaven. And the most gracious to be those who call themselves Christian. Right. Alternative Top says, appreciate your respect for Muslims. I see God has shown you the truth. May he gives. I have a very good friend Muslim. Every now and then I block him because he leaves like 2 hour messages. He's fundamental in another way, but he's a great guy. He lost his wife. Wife pissed off and left him. Beautiful daughter, African guy. And I get a headache, but I learn a lot from him. I learn more from him from anything. But 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd be leaving messages and bip, 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 the phone. I can turn it on silent, but I have to listen to him. And I was like hours listening to him. But you see, as, what's his name? The Muslim guy here, what's his name? I've forgotten already. Alternative Top, I think it was. You got to respect Christians and understand that the heart issue is more important than the head logic issue. I mean, I know Muslims are very logic, and they don't put up with any bullshit what's in the Bible, what the Christians rave on about. But if you express your heart at any moment in time, then a Muslim should be able to surrender and lay down his weapon, so to speak. I've actually been in that situation with a terrorist with a gun to my head, and they thought I was a spy, and they give truth ceremony. All I do is preach Jesus, and they said, "Oh, he's not a spy. We're not going to kill him." But they lay down their weapon, and one got converted in some way. It wasn't a Muslim. It was nobody. It wasn't. Well, it wasn't really. If he was a Muslim, it wasn't truly converted. Yeah, no, he wasn't. No. Anyway, and I had a heart to heart. And if you lay down your weapons and you become a Christian, you'd be forgiven of murder. But once you become a Christian, you can't go back to murder. But if it's a crime and you have to do the time in jail as part of your repentance. Anyway, that's the Christian thing. But it was a very dangerous situation. I just got this. Oh, this is the Mexican mafia guys. Was it him? No, it was somebody else. I've had him come on the channel. He laid down his weapons, you could say. A couple, actually. Yeah, but no Bible thumping in my hand. Just a talk, and yeah. Anyway, I got some memories popping up tonight that are not very pretty. It's coming back to me, that torture thing, that you don't know if you're going to live or die, that captured and all, like locked up like that, or threatened. But I did preach as much as I could, even when I'm like I am now, head down, and I just kept on preaching. But not in a way of trying to piss off a Muslim or piss off anyone. This wasn't Muslim. I'm getting mixed up with different experiences I've had. The mafias and all that. Yeah, because a lot of them are Catholic anyway. Yeah, they're Catholic. Yeah, and then you got the no, but they weren't Muslim. This is it. Where was this? There's a tribe in India. They're the kind of they ride motorbikes. They're like a hippie kind of mafia Indian, and they hide like police. They're like thugs. They just go and do a job. If you're going to corrupt the government or you're going to do something illegal or something, they actually go out and just shoot you or whatever. Or they think you're a spy or anything. Yeah, it wasn't Muslim. It wasn't. They might. I don't know what faith they were. I got to look through my diaries because I write everything down. The story is told. There's a name given to them. If somebody could tell me sometime, they're like secret police, but they got the authority to just go and shoot anyone dead. They protect the laws and the government and so forth, but they're not Muslim. This is a whole different type of group. Okay, as a Muslim, I grew up with Christian brothers. Yep, I read that. Yep. Truth Seeker says, Darryl Kirky, thank you, sir, for your words. You're indeed a man of honor. Now that's a nice compliment. Thank you, Truth Seeker. Muslim entered the chat. Oh, okay, Truth Seeker. Yep. Ahmed Amrad Associate says respect for Christianity. There you go. I'd like to hear that from Joseph. Respect for Christianity. And if you respect Christianity, you don't talk about shit. I mean, literally shit. Don't talk about it. Talk about something else. I can take a joke about how old you think I am, Joseph. 90, going on 91. That's pretty good. Where's the birthday cake, he used to say. No, I'm 64. Going on 40 sometimes, but not at the moment. I feel like I'm going on 90 now because a bit of pain at the moment. Amarit Associate says from Pakistan, that's right. I'm reading backwards. Hello, says Amarit, yep. I covered all the comments, I think. Yep, and Crystal, I haven't watched that. Okay, read that. Yep. Where do you believe extremists got their theology? Would it be their soul or their mind, or would that be taught by external factors? I think I did cover that comment, Crystal. External. The only inner thing would be their lust and their desires for the flesh or power, but then again, there are hidden mysteries even in the way they operate for control, probably among themselves, where two or more gather for the wrong reasons, but it's not written down, or if it is, it's secretly written down. But a lot of it is exterior. Crystal says, does the Bible say anything about the time of day of judgment? Okay, Crystal, you're still online. They say that if you're a true Christian or a saint, anyone that's true, I'd have to say Christian because that's what the Bible does say, that you really love Jesus and you love your neighbor and as yourself, you're not going to be judged. Then you will go straight to paradise. What can I say? And even goes as far as saying the Christians or the saints will be judging others. The books of life with Jesus and his angels. Wow, we are a little above the angels, but I don't know for sure. But not everybody gets the books, apparently. They say that if you go straight to paradise, what suffering are you going to go through? When the body dies, the mind and everything, all those thoughts and things that happen, if you're unrepentant or something, no matter how much you believe, there's a sort of a hell you go through death. And when it takes 8 minutes minimum, it could be 20 minutes, could be longer, it's recorded in history, before you're brain dead, you can't come back then. That 8 minutes is 2 years. So you're hanging around for 2 years, probably go to your own funeral. Now, there are Christians that say, oh, bullshit, we sleep, we don't know nothing. Yeah, the beast knows nothing. Goodness sake. The soul will burn out eventually, even if it takes 1,000 years. Even Muslims believe that repentance can take 1,000,000 years even. Then you go to paradise. So see, there's even mercy in Allah as God in that sense. So, yeah, Seventh-day Adventists believe the judgment is happening as we speak. God is in the sanctuary of the inner temple. And if you don't change the cells in your body and you don't give up meat and you got full of all that shit, negative karma and everything, you will not be resurrected immortal, which means you miss out and then you end up immortal for 100 years, knowing you're going to die, burnt to suit, and annihilated and never exist again. And you don't come forth until the end of the 1,000 years. See, they've denied spirit. They're the ones that said Jesus did not go down to visit the spirits in prison, all those fallen angels locked up one. He just went to visit they changed the word to persons. They went and visit in prisons, people in prison here alive. It was spirits. Jesus went to visit the spirits, not persons, not somebody that's alive. See, it's just messing with the scriptures like that. But anyway, I believe that Jesus really went to visit the spirits in prison. Okay, which is hell. And some crazy religion would say Jesus got born again in hell. He wasn't even saved until he got born again in hell or something, until he did that mission. That was his test. Oh my God, where does this come from? Crystal says, so do you believe in going, do you believe is going to happen on Judgment Day, and when the day, I think I just read that, didn't I? Does anyone really know the time of the judgment? No, not, they say not even Jesus and his angels. What's that tell you? That means Allah or God, the Father, knows. If Jesus is God, he doesn't know, unless you refer that to his flesh, separated from his deity, sitting in heaven, and he sits on the right hand throne, and he next to himself. That's weird. I don't know. No, apparently not even Jesus knew. Only God the Father knows. So if Jesus is God, he should know, wouldn't he? But here's, Crystal says, but here's my next question. For a point of thought, is the media not doing to the same thing as those who never worship Mary, putting the monarch first? Absolutely. King Charles was standing in the arena of a modern day sporting arena. This is only a few years ago, and all these witches and warlocks were partying around the bloody 12 oxen or something, which Mormons believe is a biblical thing, but the actual oxen, but they can turn into pigs. That's what one guy experienced in the temple. I didn't see that. 12 oxen or something, and they're doing all these chants, witchcraft chants, and King Charles is giving a thumbs up to dedicate by magic, by witchcraft, the blessing of the stadium. So that's Baal, worshipping Baal, right? So some used to say that King Charles, being real smooth, he is a bloody antichrist or something, deceived the world, because they have a religion, Church of England. But no. He said it would come out of the. Didn't it say the antichrist will come out of the Middle East, Turkey or somewhere, or join up with the what do you call it? Russia. What's that? The Northern Kings and everything, and then the communists, North Koreans, Chinese, some very rich Muslims, but not the general. Most Muslims are not supporting any of that sort of secret society stuff, right? And so forth. And the Catholic Church would usher it in. The Man of Sin, Mother of Horrors, 666, which was removed. It's not in the canon. And a lot of Catholic people do not know that. So they give praise to Papa Pope. It's a form of worship and Baal. So the Bible has got its good points. You should be aware of prophecies. And the Catholic Church is part of the breakaway of Egypt, Roman Empire, all fallen, not even as glossy as Egypt, and not even a blessing half as much as Egypt, because they got blessed until they stuffed up in the end, and God allowed it to be destroyed. And they had all the power and alchemy, and they treated each other like royalty, except towards the slaves. The Catholic people have got nothing. They sleep on a bed of nails, and the monks would whip themselves for penance. It's the lesser intelligent version compared to Egypt. So anyway, I think I'd rather be Egyptian than be Catholic or Roman Empire. Right. And the Seventh-day Adventists say, don't go running back to Rome. Don't give any credence to Papa Pope or anything. So, yeah. But then again, they've changed the scriptures to the bloody Seventh-day Adventists. What can you say? Who knows what? Not even me. But here's the next question. Yeah, I got that, right? Yep, got that. Already said that. I'm going to have a sip of coffee in a minute and a smoke. What is the sinner's prayer exactly? Is there where you confessing Jesus as Lord? Crystal, this is a good one. Let me just make a smoke. I want to talk about that. This whole business of confessing to the Lord, lip service, your hearts are, you speak with your lips, but your hearts are far from me. Jesus told the Essenes, he even said it, and Thomas, is it not Thomas? James, his brother, was a witness. Jesus said, you are not saved by lip service. Don't call me Lord, or why call me Lord if you don't be a doer of the word? And then he said, love God, love your neighbor. Everyone. So the sinner's prayer, you can say the sinner's prayer, the thief on the cross didn't, nor was he baptized, nothing. He said, just remember me when you go into your kingdom, Lord. No repentance, nothing. He just recognized Jesus as King of Kings, Lord of Lords. No, on your deathbed and you do a lip service, no. Deathbed repentance, oh my goodness. You got to love your neighbor. You don't love your neighbor, you won't go into any higher level heaven. You're not going to be with the Father, put it that way. You got to love your neighbor. Lip service, you can do lip service and then hate Mormons and hate Catholics and hate Protestants and call everybody a pagan this and pagan that. And you've got lip service and you're saved? Yeah. Lip service. Sinner's prayer. Look, if you're not loving your neighbor, that's the sin that's ruined the world, because killing the name of God and prophets. You've got to love your neighbors. It's simple as that. All the other commandments fall into place, whatever that is. Thou shalt not kill, steal, what's another one? Honor thy mother and father and all sorts of things. You can't hide behind the Bible. You can't. Jesus said, don't even focus on me. When he spoke to your sins, he said, focus on the law of love, which